We are live, I think. We're just waiting on Craig. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live Sunday session. I'm Lloyd. I'll be your host for the evening, as well as Craig Petty. However, I just had a very frantic phone call from Craig saying that he'd had to restart his router, or he had to restart his router, and is trying to quickly get his signature custom blue shirt on, and then he's going to call me so we can call him in. Here we go. Here's Craig. I'll answer to Craig. Craig, hello.
Hello. Am I live?
We are live. Let me just get you set up and running. Let me just turn this off. Actually, I'll keep that Blackpool thing there. All right. Okay, just switch out of studio mode. Welcome, dude. How you doing, man?
I'm just a box of fluffy ducks. How are you?
I'm also a box of fluffy fucking ducks, too.
No, you're not. You're a box of fuzzy sheep, but that's
Brilliant.
okay.
Thank you. So we got Gillian in the chat, who's outside of Atlanta, Georgia. So what time is it in Atlanta? It's got to be around
Atlanta. That's Flair country.
What coast is that on? Is it central? Central
I think it's kind of central.
Got to be around like midday there. We got David Peace. Hey David, how you doing, man? I still need to write you back, David. Forgive me. It's been my sort of like soft anniversary weekend, so I've been away. We've got Chris James and Nicholas Nutman. Nicky's my buddy. I was the best man at Nicky's wedding. So what's happening, bud? How you doing, Nick?
It's a soft anniversary. What's a
well, we got married.
Is that like your anniversary when you don't get any?
Oh, I got some. I actually went out for food to 4 different restaurants in about 18 hours.
Wow.
I've never been so hungry.
Instagram model pictures that you're posting on
Yeah, I know. Oh, I just drive. I've got Rich, who's on a bus back from London, bumped into Pete Turner. Oh, I was on the phone to Pete last week. How is he? How was London, Rich?
Well, I saw that
Illusionist
Illusionists were filming in London this weekend with Pete Turner.
Yes. Yeah, I'd seen Pete was there.
So it's probably something to do with that.
Wouldn't be surprised. Got Nemed in there. Greetifications. Oh, David was away. We've got Chris James. Massive question since it's so close to
the road trip with Nemid next week.
You got what? A road trip?
I'm going on a road trip with Nemid. Me and Nemid are heading down to Alakazam to do some filming.
More filming?
Yeah.
Thomas Shevlin says it's 12 p.m. in Atlanta. Is that noon, right? Crazy. What are you going to be filming? Can you talk about it, Craig? What are you going to be filming in...
You've seen it. It's a new trick that I've got coming out at Blackpool. I showed you. I gave you a copy of the performance. You know it before anyone else. Trivia. The one with the movie thing. And it's like a book
the method
thing.
For this is so good.
Yeah, right? So I'm doing that. Basically, I'm filming that. Actually,
it was good that you showed this to me early, because one of the things... Oh, was it me that got it wrong? You did a fact check on it. I
think that was the 1914 thing.
Was it for the billion? Whatever the billion is?
Yeah. And you told me that it was like somebody else's, and I looked that up, and it was nothing like it.
No, that's something else. I got about the how many people have watched, or how much is it something grossed? Was it like a billion?
Oh yeah. And you got it. I got it wrong. Yes.
All right, the chat's blowing up, Craig. We've got so many people in today. David Peace says, I was away for my anniversary weekend, #twins. I think me and David were probably twins. Mike Tyson by TKO says, Craig, thanks for answering my UFC fight tournament of magicians today on today's Q&A. I appreciate it. Dave Bonsall is the killer. What about him versus Pete Turner?
Pete Turner, I reckon, is a bit... You can tell me, because you obviously know Pete really well.
Yeah.
I reckon Pete's a bit of a softie. I reckon behind all of those tattoos, he's just kind of a soft little softie who, he's.
What is the question? Who would win out of a fight between him and Dave Bonsall?
Every single mentalist and magician gets thrown into a UFC ring.
Yeah.
Only one winner. Who can it be?
Out of everyone.
I said it's either Dave Bonsall, because he was a Marine and a badass, and like he just walked from like fucking London to Wales.
Yeah.
In a week. Or Hayashi, because he's got his own karate studio and he's got a sword. So that makes him kind of
So
badass.
sword makes him kind of badass. I mean, if it's UFC, you can't use a sword though.
Yeah, but he's still got a karate dojo thingy.
Yeah, but karate's dancing. Karate's dancing.
Don't you watch
without
Cobra
music.
Kai? No, it's not.
It's dancing. It's got to be who's. I reckon Calabrese is tough.
You
I reckon
reckon?
Calabrese is tough. Yeah, I know he does like Brazilian jiu-jitsu and stuff. I reckon Calabrese is a underdog in that, or dark horse in that tournament. I did years of boxing, but I don't know if I'm too old.
Well, maybe I should have thrown you into the mix. There we go. We're
I'd be
calling
comfortable
right
in
now.
it.
Pete Turner versus
I'm only
Lloyd
little though.
Barnes. Who would win?
I think it'd be you, Craig. You'd be the winner. You just come in and do like a Rikishi bum drop on every motherfucker and just take them out. See, I've watched my WWE. I know what I'm talking about. All right, we got so many people in the chat. We got Kev, Kyle, hello all. Greetings from South Africa. Yo, that's fucking awesome, man. Watching South Africa. What's going on, Kev? Nemed, he said, if you tell me today what the plan is, otherwise you're walking. Oh, this is about your trip to Alakazam.
Right, I've told you the plan. The plan is we're there all day Thursday filming. We're going to go down on Wednesday, grab dinner, go to the cinema. Then on Thursday, we're filming our butt off, staying over Thursday night, coming back on Friday. Road trip massive.
Road trip, massive detour in via Wales.
Why not? It's in the other fucking side of the country, but why not? Let's go for it. I'm hanging out with you on the 10th.
We've got so many people in the chat. We got Josh Riley. Happy birthday, Josh. He was 21 over the weekend and
Also,
got employed by
congratulations on officially being the app developer
for
for
Murphy's.
Murphy's.
Huge achievement. The very first ever app developer for Murphy's, which blows
And I'm
me the
telling
fuck
you
away.
right
And
now,
he's so
Josh,
good.
do whatever you can do to find out a way to weasel your way into the department in Murphy's that deals with the fucking website and sort that pop-up problem out, because it's driving me up the wall.
Yeah, it's the worst. Okay, we got Matty Mayhem, who says, I caught my wife doing circles to Lloyd's shirtless Instagram post. Fucking hell, I half regret putting that post up. It got 1,000 fucking likes on Facebook and like 1,200 on Instagram.
That's because you're a sexy mofo.
I think it's just people wanting to just see my little bitch tits. We got Joey Miner. Good day, fellas. How was your week? My week was a lot better. No dogs died, so that's good. How was yours? My friend Nikki said Lloyd would smash it up. Well, I'd have Nikki there. Nikki's 6'4", built like a brick shit house. And actually, I went to court with Nikki last year because he beat somebody up. So I'd take Nikki with me and he'd win it for me. He'd take the cup. Lee Raybone. Hey all, I'm with Lloyd on the karate is dancing. Wing Chun or Krav Maga is for a decent martial arts. I agree fully. Kev, Roy, Antonio watching here from the Philippines. Yo, Philippines. Represent, man. We got my Filipino peso coin. I was going to do some coin stuff today, maybe, Craig. What do you think?
I think you should.
We got Nemed, not even close. We'll take that. Josh is Lloyd, you're right. Mark Calabrese is a killer at BJJ. That's a sneaky killer in fights. Good shit, pal. All right, cool. I think we're all caught up with the comments for once. So, should we get into some jam sessioning?
Yeah, I think we should, man. Definitely.
What are you fancying today?
Well, didn't you say there's a vague theme to this? But, like, obviously...
Well, yes, you all might notice that Ben Williams isn't present in this call.
So should we just wing it and do the thing that when he's around?
Yeah, well, it was Ben's suggestion to do the impossible location. Ben can't make it to the show today. He had something... I'm sure he's going to come on next week and talk about it. Something sort of crazy happened last night. He's all fine. Everything's all good. But, yeah, something wild happened, and he just cannot make the show today, and I fully get it. So, with that being said...
I got a massive downgrade and got me.
I've got a deck of cards. I've got 3 coins and a shell, and I've got copper silver coins. So what the fuck can we jam with all these? And I got an elastic band
work
too.
Something out.
So
let's. And you got an elastic band.
Yes.
You got everything right.
I didn't fucking prepare with this stuff. I just looked around me as the call was going on. I was like, oh, I've got my 3 coins. I got a deck, and I know what to do.
You know what? I brought along with me just to show people so they know what it is. Like when I was on here a couple of weeks ago and I suggested doing something with an intercessor, I've had loads of people reach out to me and say, "What's an intercessor?" And I can't believe.
Isn't that something that's illegal to do with your sister?
No, that's in Wales. In England.
Oh, it's fully legal in Wales.
Yeah.
That's what makes you a criminal and me an innocent man.
You haven't seen my sister. I wouldn't touch it with yours. But I brought my intercessor along with me just to show people what it is, because I can't believe that so many people don't know what an intercessor is. So
this is going to be gold then.
I'll just show you what it is and what it's capable of. But it's a really cool gimmick, and you can do so much with it. My favourite thing is the original Gate and Bloom. Do you use the intercessor, Lloyd?
I don't, but so you buy magic to review it, but how often do you buy? How many tricks do you say you buy a year just because you know you're going to perform it, right?
Rarely.
Yeah, for me it's like 3 or 4 maximum a year. So Intercessor is one of those ones which is on my list.
Okay, well, let me. What have we got going on here? Let me show you what an intercessor is, because everybody should get one of these. And then if you do own one, what do you do with it? Let me know in the comments down below. So this is the craziest gimmick. This is a Gate and Bloom gimmick, isn't it, Lloyd?
Yes.
I believe. Yeah. So what it is you get it and you make it into whatever back design you want to. I tend to use red bikes a lot in my work, so I've made it into a red bike. And if you don't own one of these, you can get it from all good magic shops. It's Murphy's item. It was originally bought out by I can't remember. Doesn't really matter. But what it is it's this. It's a piece of metal, as you can see right there, that's got like a it's got like a torn corner here, a torn corner here, and it's hinged onto a double back card. That is basically what an intercessor is. It doesn't have to be...
Show that one more time. I'm going to show everyone on Instagram. So just show...
Yeah, there you go.
So it's a piece of metal.
Piece of metal, like that. 2 torn corners, sort of moulded into it. And it's hinged onto... Normally, you have it hinged onto a joker. So normally, this looks like a back design, and that's a joker. But I use a double backer. But it doesn't really matter. But what you do with this is it allows you, and we're kind of veering into Card to Impossible location here,
Yeah.
but I did want to show people this. What it is, if you haven't seen it, is you just have it sitting on top of your deck. And it allows you to make duplicates anytime, anywhere that you want to. Let me explain what you do with this. So let's say that I'm going to force the 7 of hearts, for example. So let's say that I'm going to force the 7 of hearts. I might put the 7 on top of the deck, on top of the intercessor, and then I might say, for example, just do a riffle force. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to force the 7 of hearts. Once I force that card, if I want to make this card disappear and appear somewhere else and I don't have it signed, I'm just going to have to use a duplicate, right? What the intercessor allows me to do, I'm going to come really close here. Does this show up, Lloyd? Okay.
Yeah.
So
looks good.
your intercessor's here on top of the deck. All you do is you take your 7 of hearts, you put it inside the intercessor, and it just looks like you put it on top of the deck. And then you just tear the corner, and you say, look, I'm going to tear the corner off this 7. And like that. So it looks like you tear the corner off. You give them the corner, and then you take the rest of the card out from inside the intercessor and show it. But what the intercessor allows you to do is have the same corner torn off every single card. So I can take a duplicate 7 of hearts and I can prepare it, and the corner will be exactly the same as this one. It tears the same corner every single time. So I can have a pre-made 7 of hearts, which is folded up into small pieces and put somewhere else, completely out the way. I can force this 7 of hearts, just put it on top of the deck, tear the corner off, show the other piece. Now I can put the deck down, and now I've basically got a pseudo duplicate. So I give them the 7 of hearts. All I have to do, I could tear this up and vanish the pieces. I could fold it up and vanish the pieces. I could do like a vanish, and then I can reappear it anywhere that I want to. I can have it reappear. And my favorite use for it, have you ever seen Gate and Bloom's thing where he comes out and the table's wobbly? You ever seen that?
Oh, is this the whole routine and he adds to it then with the scissors and stuff?
Yeah. But I mean, I just do it as.
But yeah, I know you go.
Yeah, so you have a table on stage, and you walk over and you put your hands down on the table, and you notice that it's a little bit wobbly. So you just go through your deck and you take out a card and you fold it up and you put it underneath the table leg to straighten it out.
Yeah.
Then you go into this routine, and you take the corner off and you give it to them. You then tear up the 7 into like loads of little pieces, and you say, look, I'm going to try and take the 7. And I'm going to try and tear it up and put it back together. You do some sort of false transfer. You do the vanish. The 7 vanishes, and they're left holding the piece. And then you go, you're probably wondering where it is. And you just show your hands empty. You tell them to lift up the folded card underneath the table. When you do, it's now the 7 with the corner torn off. And when they take the corner and they match it, it matches exactly.
I think it's hard to describe how powerful it is. Now, there's a good question here from 88 Stefan that says, what would be the advantage compared to that torn card device where you prepare them in advance?
Well, this allows you to prepare. This allows you to actually take a card
on the fly
and tear it in front of the audience as well.
Well, what's good about that? What's really good is that with the intercessor, someone can if you hide the corner somewhere. So so instead of hiding the card somewhere, you hide the corner. You can take a card, a duplicate, have them sign it here, tear the corner off there and then in front of them, and then eat it or vanish it, whatever. And then that corner will, when they match it, it'll match exactly to their signed big piece of card. And you can do it live. So when they take the card, they can take that, sign it openly without you covering anything, like an angle 0 thing, then tear it literally. And they can put, and the nice thing is, with an intercessor, they tear the final piece off, right? So you can tear it 95% of the way, and it's hanging off. You can say to them, take the final piece, and they pull it. And then you can proceed forward with the rest of the routine.
And if you were going to do that and you were just going to make the corner disappear, what you could do is you could have a card picked, force the duplicate. You could hold the card like this so you're covering the corner and have them sign the card. And then you could do the tear, get them to pull it off, and then you sign your initials on the corner.
Yeah.
So they've signed the card, you've signed the corner, they then hold on to their signed card, and obviously your pre-prepared corner's initialed as well in exactly the same way. You do the vanish, and it just appears wherever. It's great for card under watch. You know, I do card under watch a lot, but it's so much easier to load a corner of a card underneath a watch. And if you're into card splitting, imagine the gimmick you can make a little bit like angle 0, but without needing to have any preparation in terms of tearing a card. You could have the corner inside the card itself. Yeah. So you could have the corner inside the card. This part is normal. You force this card, you tear it off, they take the piece, they sign it, the piece disappears, and it's inside the card that they signed, that they tore off, that they were holding on to the whole time.
Yeah, it is super, super strong. I suppose that the core of it really is that it's more like that you can... It's if you... Like, Angle Zero is very, very good. Angle Z is very, very practical. But if you can just sort of... If it's like... It's, do you know what the intercessor makes me feel like? It's like if one of the finale, because it can be this can be a finale piece. If this is like a very important main piece and you absolutely do not want to get caught, you want to do it under test conditions, you can show off everything very fairly throughout the entire process, then you use the intercessor, to show its signed card, to have it examined, to tear it, they do the final tear, the piece vanishes, it matches identically, and you can up it from there. Stefan says, I was thinking of the torn corner machine. You need to prepare the duplicate anyway, but in this case, you could hand out the card in advance. I'm not sure what the torn corner machine is. Is it just a machine that allows you to just tear perfect corners?
I've never heard of that.
No, neither have I. Stefan, do you have an example of what the torn corner machine is or a link to what it is? Because I don't know what it is. I know people can score cards so they can be torn kind of identically in advance, but... Ben, actually, I think one of the things Ben would probably talk about is that he had a really good idea for Intercessor. To make it...
Really?
Yeah, but I don't actually know if it's out. But anyway, what sort of routines would you do it? Would you keep it as a simple I say simple, but would you keep it as a...
Yeah. I mean, you can do it. Basically, I mean, it's card to impossible location, really, isn't it? It's like anywhere you want to put a card, anywhere you want a card to disappear or you want a corner to disappear, it can go to very, very easily. The reason I found mine out, I haven't used mine for a few months, and I found it out after the last session I had with you. Because I really like the idea of that last session. Do you remember when I was messing around with that corner, jumping from one place to the other after you made that gimmick? And I went, it's fucking pointless. And I had the idea of making it jump from one place to another. I'm actually working on that because I thought if I have an intercessor involved in it as well, I can have this thing where somebody picks a card. Yeah. I draw a circle on it. I tear it out. I make it jump from one place to another. Then I give it them back out and they can say, and it's their card and they can see that it's jumped. Then I tear it up. I make it disappear other than the piece they're holding on to. And then the card disappears and appears underneath their watch and they've still got the piece. So that's why I found it back out because I'm playing around with that at the moment, but I haven't quite got it where I want it yet.
Wow. So here's a question for you. I don't know did you watch the wife video that I did this week?
Yes, it was the Orphic wallet.
Yeah, the TNR transpo thing.
Where, honestly, Kaylee's the funniest person in the world.
She loved that trick. I didn't think she was going to like it at all, so I was shocked.
Yeah, but she only liked the second phase, really.
Yeah, yes. So my question was going to be, I hate the whole eating a piece to vanish it or things. And I did this whole... what's that called? Ultra vanish or ultra move to make the card vanish. But what do you do when you want to make... What vanish do you use when you're getting rid of a pawn card or the corner? What do you think is the best one? Because I see people eating them and stuff. I don't really like doing that. And I use like the ultra move is it Alan Ackerman's ultra move or is it Harry Lorraine's ultra move? I'd use like a simplified version of it to vanish it. But
I know what you mean. If I want to make a whole bunch of pieces disappear...
Well, say you've got a card like this, literally like that. What's your favorite way?
And you want me to make that whole card disappear?
Yes.
Okay. So a few different ways. I love Tool. If I was planning on doing a routine where I was going to be making something like that disappear,
that's a good one.
I think Tool. Because you've got your card box with you anyway, and you show and it's gone. I think that's an incredible moment of magic. I really love that moment with Tool where a card disappears. And I think that's one of the cleanest ways that you can actually think of to make something disappear under test conditions. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Also...
Do you know what would be cool? Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
Just before I forget it, if to coincide with the Intercessor, you had gimmick cards that come with it, and the corners are mismatched corners that are perfectly in the position to be torn that way as well.
Oh, that's nice.
To match, mind you. But they still gimmick corners. Anyway, carry on. Yeah. So you'd use a tool. Tool is a great idea.
Tool works really well. Have you ever seen that thing? I first saw Gary Jones do it. It's not mine by any stretch of the imagination. But have you ever seen that thing that where you kind of do an Erdnase change and the card's outjogged?
Yeah,
so you have a card outjogged like that, and you do an Erdnase change, but then you come into this position.
This is actually a Madison thing, a Daniel Madison thing.
Okay, right. Okay, I didn't
Half
know
vanish, I think you called it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that looks so magical. A lot of the time, I'll just vanish a card like that, and then I'll do a one-handed top palm, and I'll just make it come back again.
Yeah.
Which is, but I think if you want to focus on a vanish with sleight of hand, even with a torn corner, that would work. Just go watch the 3, don't blink. It's going to happen slowly. Boom.
Yeah.
I just think that's a beautiful moment of magic.
And you wouldn't mind it being second down from top, because that's essentially where mine ended up on the video, the live performance video. I
don't think that's a problem.
I use this whole spiel, and actually, Rich Relish had a really good thing for justifying doing the palm, because in the video I say, I don't do anything. I tear the card up, and then I say, I don't know if I ever showed you the thing where I can palm a card and make it invisible. I go into this whole thing and it vanishes, right? But Rich said, before anything, so they pick a card and say, I want to show you how I palm cards, but I struggle because they're so big for my hands. So what I do is that I tear a corner off, because like with a normal card, you can see the edge here. So what I do is I tear a corner off. You hold on to that. Now look, see it doesn't flat, which is perfect justification for doing this whole thing. which is why he's a genius, obviously. And then it continues into routine. But I was thinking, should I use double stick tape and just cut it into the center, and then I can spread and it's gone? But you would do like a half vanish thing. That's
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that would work really well. I mean, once it's gone, it's gone. Do you know what I mean? I think that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, you're a worker, you perform so much, and my mind always goes to, what can I do that's the most visually pleasing or most creative way? But often, like, especially as I'm doing more live magic now and recording, I'm trying to think, I don't really have the experience of practical methods that you do, you know. I'm constantly thinking, how can I make it vanish in slow-mo? And some of them are practical, but it's...
Well, I mean, the easiest way to do it is just to shove it in your back pocket, you know. Let's say you've got this card here. The easiest way, if you want to vanish it, is to just fold it in half like this.
Yeah.
So it's folded into quarters. Just do a very simple false transfer. Bring your eyes up to here, so you're looking here. Your hand drops down to your side. Have it vanish, and it just dumps into your back pocket. I mean,
yeah, that's
if I was doing this surrounded in the real world, so to speak, and I wanted, you know, I'd probably do that, or I'd have the spectator hold my hand and just take it away in palm, or if you wanted to really make it disappear, do a false transfer, go into your pocket for a Sharpie, ditch the card, tap it, put the Sharpie away, complete vanish, you know, something like that.
That's good. Yeah. Or would you you could swap it for, I can say, folded flash paper or something to get like a visual thing. But
yeah, I mean, you know, you can take a piece of flash paper out and pretend to put it into the flash paper, so you've got nothing in there. Go into the pocket for a lighter, and anybody who is using that as a vanish, take some glitter and put some glitter inside the flash paper, because then when you light it, it goes everywhere and glitter falls down, and you look like some demonic fairy.
I tell you what would be good would be just like using a quiver to vanish it, or switch it for something that says like look in your back pocket or look under, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I did with that card coin transpo. I had the card and I changed it into the coin that was in the wallet, and then the card disappeared, obviously turned into the coin. Yeah. And the card was inside the quiver.
Yeah, that quiver video. If anyone hasn't seen that, go and check it out on Craig's channel. What's the official title for it?
It's just, if you type in the hows and whys of the quiver, it comes up.
The hows and whys of the quiver, Craig Petty. So here's some comments that have come in. Matty Mayhem. It says Molly, but he told us before his name's Matty. Links don't post in the chat. Okay. Alchemy Magic. Can Craig give me some info on his Murphy's release coming this week? Yes, but hold on. Well, I don't know if you can, but I'll continue with the comments regarding this TNR. Yes, with the torn corner machine, and not really a machine, you can prepare the card to get the same torn corner every time. It isn't visible on the front. Okay, I'm guessing it just scores the card instead of an intercessor. The thing with an intercessor is just that you just don't need to prepare anything, right? That's the difference I'm seeing.
And I imagine the intercessor came first, as it was like the 1980s. You know, it's an older item now.
Right. Yeah. And okay. Yeah. So Chris James said Monster Switch is great for tournament restored all over Murphy's social this weekend. I haven't seen my socials this weekend, so I haven't checked out Murphy's. But have you seen the Monster Switch?
No, I've seen it, but I haven't got it yet. It's some sort of download thing. But I'm currently looking at that and the Draft Switch. I'm doing a download review show at some point soon, and I will be getting that for part of it.
David Peace says, Wayne Houchin's post-it note to impossible location on his penguin lecture is absolutely killer. Makes it reappear 3 times after destroying it openly and even burning it. I haven't seen that.
That's made me want to see that, because I love Wayne, and that sounds amazing.
His magic's so good. And then we got Matty who said, Kuhn did that on AGT last year. I'm guessing he's on about Intercessor. And then Punk BMX says, hey guys. So, from there, how much... We sort of covered that area a little bit, and there's some good options to vanish a 3/4 card. I want to see what can you tease about the Murphy's release coming this week.
Dude, this is all on you. You're Mr. Murphy's. I'm doing what I'm told to say and not say. I put a little picture up on Instagram and my Facebook page yesterday. I don't even know if I was allowed to do that, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, I'd seen that go out, and I was thinking, oh, maybe you said too much already.
Well, that's what I mean. I haven't really said anything. I just said this is coming soon. But I think even that might be... although Murphy's then retweeted it and put a countdown timer on the story saying... not retweeted it, reshared it. So I'm hoping whoever deals with... Is it Bo? Whoever deals with the Murphy's socials?
I think so.
seem to approve.
Yeah, oh yeah,
so.
well, it does all the socials for Murphy's. What I don't think. Well, it goes to. Oh, I am so careful about what not to say. Maybe we should tell about a story about like without saying anything about the trick. Juan Jimenez says, "Hello guys, hello Juan." We should talk about sort of the process that it's been through, like so from inception when you first created it to.
It's taken forever, hasn't it?
I think so, but I also think it's been a very fast product as well.
Yeah. You turned the trailer around in one day. Like literally one day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you phoned me in October, I want to say, maybe before. So my mum's watching the live stream. She said, "Why am I swearing so much on the TV and Craig's not?" Fuck off, mum.
What reputation have I got with your mom? Great stuff. I'm a good boy, Mrs. Barnes.
He's a fucking cunt, mum. So when did you phone me with this idea for what? Can we even say what the name of the trick? We can't even say the name of the trick, can we?
We can't say the name of the trick. No, we just. I don't know. It's up to you.
I tell you what. Tell everyone the names of some of the people that it's fooled.
Adam Wilbur, Roddy McGee, Blake Voigt,
Brent Braun,
Justin Miller, Sean Farquhar,
John Bannon,
John Gustafaro,
Mark Oberon. Mark Oberon.
Mark Oberon got absolutely fried.
Me, you destroyed me. I had to force you to do whatever the trick is with some form of proof that you didn't fake it.
And just so you know, if you guys haven't worked with Murphy's before, they don't. When they release products through themselves, they don't just take anything on. It's quite a stressful situation because you have to perform it for like people like Lloyd and Titanus and Javier and that you've got George and you've got this big group of people you have to perform it for. And going into that Skype call, just looking at all of these people, and Lloyd was right, okay, perform it. I was actually a little bit nervous. I was like, this. I hadn't shown it to any of the big names yet, and I was like, this is not going to fool Titanus or these guys. This is just not, and it just did. It crucified.
But the funny thing was that week. There'd been, before I joined Murphy's, like sort of like just office clutter, but there'd been some a bank of effects brought in that for one thing or another, some of them didn't pan out. Manufacturing sort of broke down over time. It was the pandemic, and we actually went through and sort of give artists back the effects, saying like, listen, we would love to have worked on this with you. We had intention to do it, but for one thing or another, we were trying to decrease our project workload. To hey Keith. Keith says, loving the Sunday sessions. Hi Lloyd and Craig. Fucking love Keith, man. You're the best dog ever. Anyway, so you phoned me and I was like, and you're like, oh, you know what? I got something. I don't even know if it's worth pursuing. Blah blah blah. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, well, we've literally just. You call it kickback. It doesn't mean like in an offensive way, but we just kicked back like, I think it was like 25 projects. We were trying to streamline ourselves. And then you showed me the effect. Mm-hmm. And I was like, holy shit. Because it wasn't, like when I look at magic tricks, you can have a good trick or you can have something which goes further than the trick itself, like which is bigger than the effect itself. So I was like, oh my God, this is not just like great. This is going to, I think, like, change dramatically like the landscape of one plot in magic and what's possible with it, at least, because I think there's so many more avenues that can be explored with it. So anyway, I called the guys and got you to show it to them, and they again, same thing for everyone else, thinking, well, we've just started saying we've got, we want to just only, we're only going to take on magic really, which is absolute gold. And then you showed the guys and they were like, we need to fast track this into production today.
I can't wait for people to see it. Like, it's going live in a couple of days, isn't it? It's like, I think Tuesday or Wednesday it's going live.
Is it I don't know. I need to check.
Murphy's put a timer on their Instagram. They shared my post of their story and they put a timer on as to when it was actually going live.
Yeah. So should we tell everyone the first letter of the name?
Go for it.
Should we? Well, Rich Relish has asked the T's. The thing is, he's a mind reader, So,
dear.
so he can do some sort of like progressive anagram and work it out. But do you want? It's your trick. After 3, do you want to tell everyone the first letter of the trick?
Okay, I can do that. Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Q.
And I think this, Q doesn't make it many options. So
No, not at all.
So that's a pretty good teaser, I think.
I think people are really going to like it.
David Peace said that the Murphys release broke his brain. I'm not sure if you showed it to him. Did you perform it to him? Did it fuck it? David Peace.
I might have. Did I? I don't know.
I think David Peace runs a podcast, right?
Huh?
David Peace runs a podcast, I think.
Yes. Oh, yes, he does. Yes, of course he does. Of course, David. Yes, that David. Oh my God. Yeah, he was so fun. I showed them the trailer.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's loco.
So I didn't perform it them because I didn't have it. It was in my close-up bag, but I showed them the trailer.
We got some guesses coming in. One of them says, someone says Quizno, Quantum. Punk BMX says Lloyd fears no mums. All right, Craig Petty fears no rules. Someone says, and Arcade Magic asks if it's releasing on Friday night. Friday, right? I think it might be this Friday. I'm not sure. What are you doing?
You know what? I had someone rant at me on a comment on my YouTube channel, because which happens quite a lot. But it happened in this situation because they were saying you've sold out with your Murphys release. You're working with Murphys. You've sold out. I'm like, what? Shut up.
No, I'm so excited for it to come out. It really has been hard to sit on it, but I feel like we're doing too much teasing now. So should we show some magic?
Well, I want to talk about moves.
Okay.
That you don't see anyone using these days.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I've been playing around with a move that everybody's going to know, and the only person who's got any work on it really is Sankey, because it's a Sankey move. And I think sometimes people forget how fucking good Sankey is.
Yes.
Because he sometimes releases some stuff that's not great. And sometimes he releases every single brain fart under the planet. People forget that he is a creative behemoth.
Yeah.
And he's responsible for some of the best tricks and plots in the whole of Magic. Have you ever seen this move, Lloyd? It's the one where it's a way of flipping a deck over visually. So let's say that you've got the deck boxed, for example, like this, and it's half face up and half face down.
Yeah.
And for some reason, you want to flip the deck over, and he's got a few different reasons for doing that. He wraps an elastic band around the deck like this, and he goes 1, 2, 3, and on the third one, he turns the deck round.
Right.
You ever seen that?
Yeah.
I've been playing around with something. Tell me what you think it is. It's literally, I've been playing around with it this morning.
Okay.
And the whole idea is I'll just go through exactly what you do. So you're gonna reverse a card on the bottom of the deck, right? So you're gonna, for anybody who knows this routine, you got this move. You're gonna reverse a card on the bottom of the deck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna have a card picked, genuinely free choice of any card, and you up jog it, and as you take it out, you're gonna get a break underneath the top card.
Okay.
So that you turn over and you're showing a double, right?
Right, I'm following along.
You then get them to sign the double. So they sign the 7 of spades, 7 of diamonds in this case. Then turn the double down and deal it onto the table.
Shit. Okay.
Now what you're going to do, right, is just you put the deck down and you turn it over. So you just put the deck down, but you turn it over. So you turn that deck over and they don't know. So they think that's their signed card. It's not. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now this is the whole concept. You take their card, and this goes back to Torn and Restored that we talked about a few weeks ago. You take their card and you openly rip it up into quarters like that, right?
Right, okay.
And you put those into their hand and you say, is that an optical illusion or are those pieces really torn up? And as they look in their hand, you're just going to pick the deck up and you're going to do a Mercury card fold on the bottom card of the deck, which is actually their card. So you're just going to do a Mercury card fold on the bottom card of the deck, which is that. So that's now Mercury card folded, right?
Yeah.
Now you take the pieces and you put them here on top of the deck, yeah?
Oh.
You see where I'm going to go with this?
Ooh!
So now you take the elastic band
Good.
and you wrap it around like 2 or 3 times like this. So we've got a situation now where you've got the torn pieces of their signed card there underneath the elastic band. Now all you do is you just go 1, 2, 3. And on 3, you then show them.
That's so good.
They can now take it out and open it up. And it's now their signed card. And then all you've got to do is take the elastic band off. This deck is now the right way around. So now all you have to do, the pieces then automatically fall into your hand. So you just put the deck down on the table. The pieces just go in your pocket, and you're reset.
Could you fold that card on the bottom?
Huh?
If you say you had like a king of spades or something on the bottom, so let me try and show you. I got a duplicate here in this case, but so this is the back to front card, right? And you've got the torn piece. This is the dirty side, let's say, of the deck.
Yeah.
All right. So you still got the last band on it. Boom. It's changed. I'm thinking, can you fold this back and then it vanishes the pieces here, and you can sort of flash it as well.
Ooh,
I've got a jack and a jack. You know what I mean? So if I've got, I mean the deck's not matching, but so that's the setup here. Dun, 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 dun. So I've just changed these pieces. Boom. So it's gone like that, and then instead of having to like cop or anything, because the fold will push all these pieces back, you can do this, and I can show super cleanly.
That's nice.
And then
that's
the pieces
really
are secretly
nice.
there. So all you need is one duplicate card, really, and then make sure that you're gonna plan in advance to have that there.
That's nice.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, I mean it's a nice idea for a torn and restored.
It's really, really cool. Really, really cool. I wonder if Craig, if it's more of you get ballsy with it, and so this goes around the deck, and you ask someone to hold their hand out, and you say grab it, and put your hand on top, and you should let you don't let them focus on the torn pieces, so you don't let them realize that it's back together so quickly. So you say hold both your hands together, boom, put it there, put your hand on top, have a peek, you can see the card. Now and then pause it, and then because it's in their hands, they're not going to look under the deck. Hopefully,
they're not, and even if they did, they're not going to feel those pieces because the elastic band's there.
Yeah,
the elastic band is what they're going to be feeling. That's going to be the tactile moment there, not the torn pieces.
Yes, yeah. That's a great. I didn't think you were going in that direction whatsoever.
I was playing around with torn and restored because I don't really do, as you know, many torn and restoreds, and I just thought it's an impromptu thing as well, because it's like, you know, if you obviously you need a duplicate if you do the idea that you suggested, but if you haven't got a duplicate and you do it the way I just showed it, it's an impromptu thing. You just need to reverse a card on the bottom of the deck, have an elastic band with you, and you can do this thing. And it is, if you do it in the spectator's hand, or you do it onto the table, or you do it into your hand, that moment, and it doesn't have to be a perfect Mercury fold card, which is good because my Mercury card fold sucks.
Oh, mine's terrible as well.
It just absolutely sucks. But if you take the elastic band and just wrap it around, just do it like this. There we go. And then just take the pieces over there. Even if you don't do it into the spectator's hand, it's a very visual moment. Like, you can see the pieces there, and it's 1, 2, 3. Well, I didn't have a card turned over there, so that was terrible. That was just awful.
Let me show you. I thought you were gonna. I'll show you what I thought you were gonna do.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. And then you can have them take it out from underneath. You can just extend your deck, and you can have them take it out from underneath the elastic band. And it's, super visual.
So I thought you were going to do something like some camera here. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so bear with me.
Yeah, sure.
I thought you were going to do like a sort of inversion routine.
Well, inversion would work.
So let me see if I can show. So if I have a card and place it into the center. And then wrap this around the deck like that. So this just sort of gives us a thing. Like it's just, this is like a protector sort of. So you can say 1, 2, 3, and you can see the whole deck turns face up around.
That's lovely.
You know what I mean? So if you reset it, so I can literally like show, here's a deck, face down, place this card in the center, that's going to keep us honest sort of thing. So you can go here, boom, shoot it, now the whole deck turns face up around it. Maybe I need to like ditch that somehow.
Well, what I do with the ditch, Lloyd, is, and I love that idea, what I do with the ditch, so you're left with a double in this situation, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, because I use it on back.
All I do is, as I take that card out, I'd use my forefinger to push that one into the deck.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, wow, yeah, that would be... Oh, of course, yeah, that would be super convincing. You can even change this color of a card, so boom.
Yeah.
I'm going to try your thing now, hold on. So, I want to end up with this one squared in, I think. Yeah, so we'll start this direction. It's going to be an inversion routine, right? So here, so this, so that goes in. Let's start face up, maybe. So like that. I should have got the same. I should have got a duplicate card. Okay, so I can show this is in a face up deck. 1, 2, 3. Whoa, the whole deck turns face down around the king. You can see. And now it's clean. Oh yeah, Craig.
That's really nice.
That's good. That's
good.
Really cool.
And you know what? You're actually changing the back of that card as well. That king is having
yes, because this is a red back. Yeah.
Exactly. So you can have an extra kicker. You could then say, of course, I understand how that works. What I don't understand is how...
Oh, mate. Do you know what you could do? Hang on. So if I did this...
Okay. It's getting crazy now, isn't it? It's getting mental now.
It's what we all about, baby. Hold on. So, boom. I mean, it's essentially the same thing that you're saying, that you've shown.
I love that.
It just heals.
You know what would be even better, Lloyd? Tear the center out the card. Fold it in half, tear the center out, put the center back in.
Okay, so let me set up. I'll end it on the clean side. This is really cool, Craig. So
fold it in half and then just tear the center out. That's it. Now put that under there, and then take that and put it into the hole and line it up.
Oh, I'll do you one better. Hold on. Fuck. Craig, talk to the family a second. I've got an idea.
Hey, Lloyd's mom, how are you?
I mean the YouTube family.
Oh, right, the YouTube family. I thought you meant your real family. Right, okay. Hey, YouTube guys, I can't see your comments or anything.
Okay, hey, I'm good.
All right, okay.
Watch this, right, okay, so.
Yeah.
Boom. Slide it in, like this.
Yep.
Okay, make sure it's all thing, do the whole, oh wait, I haven't turned it over yet, hold on. No, I need to get the piece and put that in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we can just do this.
I love that.
I didn't do the change quick
Imagine
enough.
if you had a gaffed card where the center of the card was face down.
Oh, I did make one called Soul Hole, which is actually this was black was put into the card.
Yeah, but imagine if you just had a face down torn section in a card.
Oh, yes.
So that you have that on the bottom of the deck. So you force any card. You could use the same gaff every single time. You force any card. You tear the hole out of the center and you turn it face down. So the hole is face. So do you understand what I'm saying?
Wait, no, but Pete Turner just texted me saying put it in the hole. So I don't know if he means which way around, like to do that sort of thing. Put it in there. Boom.
Yes.
Like that. And then say 1, 2. Oh, I haven't done it yet. Wait there. And then like this.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, do that exact thing. Put it in the hole, all of that, but turn it face down first. Turn that hole face down.
I think Adam Wilber has a card gimmick like this that he made.
Well, this is a great handling to do with it.
I think
imagine doing that, and then it looks like nothing's happened, and then you just slide the card out, and it's there.
This is super cool, man.
I know, right?
Super, super cool.
It's one of those moves that nobody ever does anything with, ever. By the way, hey, Pete.
Yes. I wonder if I can do it like a moving thing. So if I, like, you know, if I say to people, watch, if I take a hole and I put it on the card, it looks real. I can move it here, move it here, move it there. Kind of like does its job. I don't know. And then it actually becomes real.
And then it actually becomes real. That's like a reverse.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then it comes out. Cool. Craig, sick idea, man. And what's up, Pete? How's it going, dude? Rich Relish said he's seen you in London this weekend. Oh, it's Nathan.
Covent Garden, I think.
Abraxas channels watches. Everyone check out Abraxas channel as well. We keep saying it every week. It needs to get more love. So, yeah, that was that. There's so much you can do with that, Craig.
Oh, yeah. I mean, imagine doing a colour-changing deck.
Oh, here we go.
Well,
what does Sankey use it for then? What does he teach it for?
It doesn't really do much with it. It's one of those moves that he doesn't really hardly do anything with it, to be honest. I'm trying to think. He hasn't approached it for yet. The trouble is the guy has so much material. I think he's got a sandwich routine with it. He's got an ambitious card with it as well, where he has the card, I think, put into the middle, and he convincing controls it to the bottom. So I think he's got a card reversed on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah.
And he has a card picked, and he does a convincing control, so it goes to the bottom of the deck.
Well,
so
actually, it's funny you said convincing control, because with Rich Relish, I think it was, any possible discussion or thoughts on the convincing control. What is the convincing control? Refresh my memory. Is it
convincing control is this? It's a little bit like the Troy Hughes control that you talked about the other day, the slipstream.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But it just goes directly to the bottom. So you have the card returned like this. You show it, and then just in the action of you say you could have put it back anywhere you want to, and in that action you controlled it to the bottom of the deck. Got it.
Okay, so now we're there. Okay, so I'm just catching up on the chat. There's so many people in the chat. We've got David Jonathan saying love that. Thomas Shevlin, can either one of you possibly show a sleight that can be used by someone who doesn't have great hand dexterity? Yeah, we'll come back to that. RK says do a deck flip. You can play it as a mistake. Watch the outjog card turn around. Braxis, oh, there he is. Me and Pete just scoff at a curry while watching. Mate, I'm well jealous of your curries, like, fall on. I think so. Someone said I think Pig Cake might have been leg right and Jason Ladania for a minute. Ladani for a minute. Okay. You guys be on the Murphy's Discord jam soon. Right, okay, yes. So what else can we do with this move? We were just saying, I just wanted to catch up on the chat there. Oh, the convincing control, right? So is it this one where I do it so bad with the table, but...
Yes, you do. But it's fine. It's not a move you do.
So what's the question? What was the question? It was...
Any advice? Is it advice?
Thoughts on the convincing control. I mean, I don't do it enough to...
I mean, I can just tell you... I mean, do you want me to explain how to do it? Is that what he wants?
Maybe.
Or... Yeah? Or no?
I think it's just his thoughts on it. Well, is it... Right, I think I need a stand to do it, but is it like... Will you show a card, like the 3... Oh, look at that flash.
Yeah, but the thing that makes it work, Lloyd, is you have the card put back. So let's say it's here, yeah?
Yeah.
The key thing is you up jog it like this. So and then you let them push it back into the deck themselves. Okay. And immediately it's on the bottom. So the thing that makes it so deceptive, it's not like a cull thing. It's like, look, there's the card. I'm going to leave it right there. And then, look, you push it in yourself, and it's right there on the bottom.
Yeah.
My favourite use of the convincing control, and this is just a really quick, simple thing that's not mine, but it's is to just have. This is not a full deck. There you go. Just have a nice introduction to a sandwich routine. So you have a black king on top and a black king on the bottom, and you openly show that you've got a black king on the top and a black king on the bottom. And then you have somebody pick a card, so they pick a card, you have it returned, and then, so in this case, it's the 4 of hearts. They return it, you do the convincing control, and what's nice, because you can be so slow about it, you can let them see. So remember, you've got your card there, you've got the black king on the top and the bottom, and then you just square everything up, you let them push it into the deck themselves.
Yeah, super
and now you come up, and I'm sitting down, but you do a like some sort of pass. And then when you spread through, you show that the queens have disappeared off the top and the bottom, and then you show that they've caught the selected card. And that's a really nice way of doing a kind of an intro to a sandwich routine, because you're not going to actually change the positions of those queens, if that makes sense. It's literally, you show, and you've got that really nice display there. You square everything up, and then you can cut, or you can do whatever you want to. But then when you show in the middle, it's now caught the card.
It reminds me of the Kelly. Like, you could achieve the same thing with a Kelly bottom placement, couldn't you?
You could, yeah.
But it reminds me of a Kelly bottom placement would look, oh fuck me, like this. I can't get my hands around it. So you show a 7, and it goes in, but really it gets stolen to the bottom. But I put this control on my Instagram ages ago, like 3 or 4 years ago. It's based on the Kelly bottom placement. I gotta see if I can even. I'm gonna butcher this. But go back on my Instagram to see where I can do it better. But it's something like you do this, right? You show... Oh, yeah, right. Okay. This is my memory refresh. So, say stop, Craig. I might fuck this right up.
Stop.
Say there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the hand motions that are weird. So I show the Queen of Hearts and lose it into the center, okay?
Yeah.
And then it's on top.
That's lovely.
I think I flashed like a bastard on that.
I don't think you did. Do it again.
So here,
yeah,
6 of diamonds. Okay, place back in the center.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, that's
so
nice.
From the side, you bring this hand forward, which is odd. Flat, show the card, and it looks like you're placing the cards back, but you're going to place it on bottom instead. But that's because you're so used to seeing this, you just assume...
Well, have you... On that subject, and also talking about the convincing control,
you have to hold the cards like that. That's the key to it.
The straddle grip it like that.
Yeah, with no thumb.
Bring it on top.
So 1, 2. Fuck. Anyway,
have you seen Gary Jump's Top Con control?
I have, yeah. Show everyone at home though.
Yeah, well, it's my favourite control. You have the card picked and shown. So Ace of Spades in this example. Look how clean this is, Lloyd. You just square the cards up like this, and you say, you know what, I'm just going to put it a little bit further down. We'll put this half into this half.
Yeah.
This half into this half. Square everything up.
So good. Actually, Chris James has been using the top con control. Craig mentioned. Gary Jones, brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, Gary and Chris, very, very kindly, have included it in the slight section of Netrix. So...
Oh, wow. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this jam session, drop a like for Craig in the like section right there. It's called the like section. Do I sound like a fellow old person saying that?
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
Section. All about sandwich.
I think I'd probably enjoy it better if I wasn't here, to be honest. But, I'm here now. You can't get rid of me.
All about sandwich tricks. I was playing with this idea over the weekend when I was away on my little, sort of semi-anniversary, but... Do you want to see this thing? This is really terrible. This is really terrible. But I had all I had was a deck of cards and some room. So I think you'll kind of like this, but it's more of like, it's not very magic-y, but I'll show you. So any card selected. Do you want to name one or something?
8 of Hearts. Yep.
So is that in view? Can you see that?
Yep.
So I actually don't have the full routine worked out, so I'm just going to have to freestyle it. But I'd shuffle and you just say stop.
Stop.
Here. And at this point, I wouldn't have seen the 8, so you could have signed it and we'd all have a look, right? So the 8, goes there. And then we also have these cards. I don't know if you can see them. It's the 2 red aces, the ace of hearts and diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
So place these off. Your card is left there. Let me try and make some space. So the 8 of hearts is left there, and the aces are here, right? And the idea is to try and throw the 8 of hearts between the 2 red aces, okay? The 8 of hearts is gone, and it's in between the 2 red aces. And it's not very good. It's not very creative whatsoever. But I just loved that I had a double backer to play with in the deck. So aces are set off to the side beforehand. I didn't have very good reasoning to go to them halfway through. This is why it's a terribly thought out routine. But double backer on top, right? Cards selected. It would be sight unseen. I just wanted you to know that it wasn't a dupe. Then I do this shuffle, which is the top card's still here, the double. I place these there to let me turn the chosen card and swap it for the double. And then bringing the aces in and doing a load, which looks quite fair, even though their card's now between them. Place them off to the side. And I just... got to turn this up. I just really like the moment of... this vanishes as it's flipped over and it kicks the cards in the air at the same time. I just kind of like this whole... if you follow that card, it looks like it shoots in, like a retention of vision. So everyone keep your eye on the card. 1, 2, 3... it jumps sort of between.
I reckon people will believe that's a display of juggling skill.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's not very magical. It's more like which I don't, I prefer more magic
that's
stuff.
That's a good thing. I like it. I really like it.
But that's like the little routine thing I was sort of jamming on the weekend.
While you were on your anniversary, to be clear.
Yeah, literally. What are you going to show?
Well, I'll show you a simple sandwich routine, but it's meant to be done stand-up, so I don't know how well this is going to work. But you'd pick a card. Well, I'm going to put the 2 queens, the 2 black queens, one on top of the deck, one on the bottom of the deck. So you can see that the 2 black queens are sandwiching the rest of the cards. You would then have a card picked and signed. So this is the card. I would then have you put the card back in the middle. And you would then take the card and put it right back there in the middle of the deck, yes?
Yeah.
And you would do it like this. And then I'd say, watch. Now, this is the bit where I'd need to be done stand-up, really. But you say, watch the queens. If I just do this, what happens is the black queens disappear on the top and the bottom. Now, look, 1 queen has gone down slightly. 1 queen has gone up slightly. And what's happening is they're eliminating cards. So these have been eliminated. We've still got about half the deck to go. So let's do this again. We'll leave the queens on the top and the bottom. Watch very carefully. Don't blink. All I have to do is twist. And just like that, look at that. They've now caught 1 card and 1 card only. And that would be your 2 of hearts.
Wow.
Did that show up okay? I don't know how those passes.
There's a bit of flash on the vanish of the card, like when they sink down, but like the routine showed up okay.
Yeah, I normally do this side on, and it's normally like a...
so where have you published that?
In a book years ago, an ebook years ago, but it's my variation of something that I saw many years ago. But basically, all it is, and as I say, you need to be able to do a pass. I use a midnight shift, but you can't do a midnight shift sitting down on this angle. But basically, all you do is you openly take out the 2 queens, or whatever card you want to use, and you put 1 face up at the top and 1 face up at the bottom, and you openly show that you've got the queens face up and face up and at the top and the bottom of the deck. You then have them pick a card and sign it, and then you square up the cards. While they're signing the card, all you're going to do is apparently cut the deck in the middle. But in reality, you're going to cut the deck in the middle, step the top half over to the right, and then from underneath, as you take the top half away, your fingers are going to push the bottom card with it. So in other words, but from the front, it looks fine. So, and there's no heat on it because they're signing the card. But it looks just like this. Put your card back there. So you've stolen the queen underneath this packet. So that when they put their card back there, the queen is going right next to their selected card. But they feel like the queens are still on the top and the bottom. So all you're going to do now is get a break about 10 cards up, roughly, and you're going to do a pass. And obviously, this is going to look terrible because I'm sitting down. But you do a pass,
Like a dog in the room.
and that banishes the top of the queens off the top and the bottom. You spread through the deck, and you show that the first queen has come here, and you show the second queen is here. This is actually their selected card at this point now. So all you do is, as you upjog these two queens, you get a break underneath this card, underneath the bottom queen, and then you just take these away. You take these away. So now you've got their selected card there. So all I have to do is fairly square up the cards, do another pass, and when you do the second pass, you spread through, and the queens have caught one card, and it's the selected card. So it's kind of like a slow motion sandwich routine where the queens slow motion go into the middle of the deck to catch the card.
That's a great routine. Let's hear some love for Craig in the chat, everyone. Woo! We're like a 30-second delay, so I'll be like woo for everyone in the chat. So I put a like. Never said I put a like. It was for Lloyd. So let me show you another routine then. I don't know if you've seen the sandwich routine of mine, Craig, but I'll stand up a little bit to show you, to see if we can get it. So this is, ironically, the second phase is something I was really thought nobody had come up with this. And simultaneously, Gary Jones has apparently published it like years ago, way before me. But I thought the ending was so unique. I never, ever, ever thought it'd be done before. But yeah, as we know, there's nothing new under the sun in Magic. But I'll just show you the routine anyway, okay?
Yes, please.
Okay, so two cards. We have the Ace of Hearts, and the Ace of Diamonds. So I want you to say stop wherever you like.
Stop.
Right here. Do you have any idea what this card is?
No idea.
This is the Jack of Spades. Perfect. It's a good contrast to the aces. So the Jack is going to go about halfway-ish into the deck. Can you see? Maybe further down. Mm-hmm. And the idea is with the two aces on top, and you can see that they're all separate entities, right? So watch, if I just shake and wave, that Jack will shoot right up in between the two aces, okay? Which is quite cool. It's all right, isn't it? That leaves us with the Ace of Hearts, the Jack of Spades, and the Ace of Diamonds. Let me take that Jack back out. And here's what we'll do. So this could be signed as well. We still have the two red aces on top, and the Jack goes back into the center. Now watch what happens this time. You need to watch three things at once, okay? You need to watch the Ace of Diamonds, the Ace of Hearts, and the Jack as it visually melts up through the deck to the very top.
Ah, that's lovely.
Jack of Spades. And it's that last phase, so I was like, yep, nobody in the world's gonna come up with that. And it is. But I'll show you the last phase again, just in case you want to see it. So you kind of all know what's happening, right? But we have an X card in the center, and then you get this moment where it looks like it melts somehow through. I don't think the angles are right there. Let me just do that again. See how it's quite fun.
So good.
But I'll teach you the first phase, because the other phase is the second phase is Gary's. But you do this thing. Is it a Bill Goodwin thing where you preload a card and get a triple?
Yeah.
Right. So, that's a double fucking backer in it. Right. So I'm going through the motions because it's only the visual part which is important to this. So the 10 goes into the deck, but really I'm in position where it's here. So you can get into that from wherever position you want. So whether you literally just do a standard, like here's a double, an ace, and then just do like a classic sandwich load. It doesn't matter as long as the card that you want to appear is loaded between. And now there's a few routines where the card will jump up into the center, right? Or people will have the card jump up, but they all miss out one vital piece of visual information which changes this which doesn't make it look as visual as it can, which is what people tend to lose track of when they're creating things like this is that this card will jump like miles away. So one of the classic ones is to have it go from here to here, which is like a it needs to stay in the same exact retention of vision line of sight. So what I sat down and thought about many moons ago was that this card shouldn't be the thing that moves. You know, the visual of this. It should be anything else around it. So when you're in this position, what you need to do is get a double here and kick this pair over. Because what's going to happen under the cover of a wave is that this hidden card is going to literally line up right there. So it looks exactly like nothing's happened, right? At speed. And that's what most people don't do. They just move this to the side. So a lot of people will do this and just have it appear here, which looks more like it physically moves other than melts, which is it's such a small detail, but I think it makes all the difference when you put it all together and have it go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think there's a lot of people. I think another person was Dorian Rodell. I think he published something called like Avenue with Dan and Dave, where it goes from here over, but it still moves back. And I think if you pay attention to the smaller elements, by kicking this forward so that it has to align, now it looks like it rises up and through, which is the illusion that you're going for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
that's lovely.
Yeah, it's one little thing.
I remember when I was a kid, I spent like 18. I spent probably 3 years practicing throwing a sandwich pear down on the table and getting it to align perfectly.
Oh, wow.
I got it eventually. I don't know if I can still do it. Can you do that? It's completely pointless.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, let me see if I can remember. So, let me see. This will go spectacularly wrong.
Let's see.
I'm going to embarrass myself here. So
a Justin Miller move where you go on, let me just see it.
Say stop.
Stop.
There you go. Oh, sorry. There you go. That's the card. Remember
Okay.
it? I couldn't possibly know your card. I know it's not a queen because obviously the queens are here. But other than that, I have no idea what the card is. I'm going to take the queens and just drop it on the table like a boss.
Oh, motherfucker!
Take that invisible card right there and just do this.
So good.
Honestly, I could
good.
do that every single time on any surface, or at least I could many years ago. I don't know if I still could. I've got it so good that I could eventually, there you go, get it so that they completely separate. And that one is still a double, so you just come back and do it. I spent so long. I probably spent more time practicing that than anything when I first got into Magic. So look at that. That's a double.
That was great. No, I can't fucking do that. Oh, here's my camera. I don't know if you can see. I've never learned it. I don't actually know the technique. I'm just copying you.
Basically, I'll go through it. It's an old technique, really, to be honest. But
there we go. That's all right.
Yeah, that's amazing, mate. All you do is you just load a card, as in a normal sandwich routine.
Okay.
You want to get a break, a thumb break, between two at the top and one at the bottom, so to speak. And the only technique is, and it's just a knack thing, you squeeze like that as you throw, and you get it right, and you get. It's very disarming because it really does look like two cards.
I like that double for the top of the deck, like that. Similar thing. Have you seen this? It's like the same vein, very disarming. Have you seen it? That double.
I remember seeing a Roger Klaus double where you use your ring finger to squeeze the two cards together. Let me see if I can still do this. So it rides over like that.
It's basically the same thing, and it'll just sort of freestyle move.
There you go. It rides over like that, and you just flip it over. But Roger Klaus had this thing where he did it all in one hand. There you go. He did it all in one hand. So you had a double, and you just literally used like a one-handed double turnover.
Did I ever show you my sand switch? One of the first things I ever published, or one of the first things that I published that was decent.
Dee said that the first thing that you brought out with him was not bad.
It was terrible. That was called Maverick.
He said I was on a shoot when he said it's a good trick but a shit method.
Yes, yeah, basically, yeah. So, but I'll show you this thing called a sand switch. It's a utility. So an X card is placed between here. So like name a card, right? Let me just check it. So name a card.
The 4 of diamonds.
I'll be off by 1, okay? Like I said.
Oh, now you've fucked me up, Lloyd. Was that just a fluke?
Yeah, that was a fluke. Right, so fuck it. So,
oh my god.
4 diamonds, right? So 3 diamonds is placed by here.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'll show you. So if I get the 4. So this is how this. God, I haven't done this for so long. So if I fuck it up, it's because we're live. So 3 of diamonds.
Shit, that's good.
And you can do so much with it. So for example, if I place, say we're going to switch it for the king. So, or like say you choose Queen of Spades. It's lost into the deck. And I've had this out in the open the entire time. The 4. Oops. So I can turn the 4 face down between the 2 aces. That would really flash then, but it can be switched.
That's really nice.
So let me show you sort of what's happening at speed. You get in a card here into this sort of grip because it's going to kick out in a minute, and it kicks out and lines like almost right underneath everything. And then as you pull up and back, it's like a mechanical thing, but it'll turn itself over and then everything naturally squares.
Wow.
So let me grab this one more time, drop my card. So if we're going to choose, so this card would be, say, lost in the deck. You can show that it's not between these, or you can just show that it is the card between those two.
That's so good.
I can't see my camera very well, so I don't know what my angles are like. But
was that like an Enigma thing, or was that?
Yeah, Enigma. So, and again, if anyone wants to just quickly learn that, I'm not going to go through it all properly, but you pop one card up and you pinch it between your index and thumb, and then as you come up, you're going to push it against this card, and then as your thumb strips the top card back on top of the deck, everything else works automatically. It's hard. It's so hard to do it slow. Tell you what else I did with Enigma. It's a sandwich thing. One thing you learned is this really practical vanish of a sandwich card, which the Scarlet utility thing.
The Scarlet. That's a great.
I know because you bought it, right? I forgot all about it, but it's a really easy vanish of a card where 2 aces are placed between either side of a red 10. Have I set this up right? I don't know. And then you say watch as the 10 vanishes, and you're left very, very clean.
It's so good.
And you can get it back by doing like an undercover switch by Marlowe. But if anyone wants to really quickly learn that, because it's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with the utility.
It's well worth getting a download, actually, if only to see Lloyd's incredibly long, greasy hair.
Oh, my fat face. What I like about it is it's so convenient as this thing. So you have the 2 aces, which can be checked out. You turn them over as a triple. I turn them over and grab a break above this card, so you get a single break. Sorry, I always rush. So now I got a triple, but I push this card over as well. So I got a triple here, and this is an X card. Grab this face up, place it between, and now you can do any now you can like square any way you want. But I just riffle off the X card, and as you shake it, vanishes. It's
So
very,
good.
very clean. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just rambling on now. Gives you time to think of better tricks to show, Craig.
Mate, you're kicking ass.
Rory Adams is in the chat. Hello, joining late but happy to be here. Hope everyone's well. One ahead, averaging 1,000 views on these super long Sunday sessions. Absolutely wild. Good on you both. Thank you so much, Rory. I hope,
I love Rory.
Going on 20 minutes. So Barnabas says, looks like Monster Switch. Okay, Barnabas, I know what you're talking about. And I've been getting tagged all weekend on the Monster Switch by people saying, hey, the Monster Switch is your Sand Switch and it's been stolen. I published Sand Switch too long ago to care if it is stolen or not. I don't mind if it is mine or not. It's yesterday's news for me. But anyway, what's up, Rory? Rory's coming on next week. Michael Lawrence says, do that one more time. I'll do it.
Rory's coming on next week. Wow.
Yes, to show and talk about his lottery prediction book,
which I have ordered.
Which I have on the way as well. Michael,
ordered
really
as
quickly, what do you want to see one more time, Michael, and I'll show it. You've got has yours been? I don't even know if mine's been dispatched. Has yours?
I have no idea. I know I ordered it the second I got the email from Rory. I have to be honest. This is going to sound ridiculous, and anybody who's listening to this, but you'll know what I'm like. Yeah. I still haven't read the post about what the lottery trick is. I still haven't had time to read it. I just know with Rory it's going to be absolutely amazing. And when I saw the book was for sale, I thought I'm really going to love this. So I'll buy the book because I know that I'm going to love it. So I haven't really delved deeply into what the routine is with it.
But basically, Rory's going to be here to tell us all next week, every sort of detail that he can tell about it. He teaches openly exactly what it is in his oneahead.club blog. He tells everyone what it is, and it's up to you if you want to get the book or not, so you can do it yourself. But basically, I'm just sharing someone's David Whitney's. Let me get his name correct. David Whitney's tagged us on Instagram. Basically, it's a tossed out lottery prediction, and it's very Rory Adams style. So it's very clever, very direct, and very like minimal in a way. But you can hand a book out. People think of 6 numbers, and they match a real printed lottery ticket. And it's just normally lottery predictions as clean as Rory's and as aesthetically pretty as Rory's, I'd say, like thousands of dollars, and this one isn't. And the method's just genius. So, yeah, if anyone hasn't got it, I don't even know if it's on sale. I think it's sold out very quickly. So
I think it has.
Okay, so really quick, Michael Lawrence asks, can I show the Vanish one more time? I'll just show it really quickly because I'm probably boring Craig to death with these card slides. But you need 2 aces.
I'm not bored.
I always feel like I bore people when I show shit. And you take a card. Now it's important that the card goes face up. And then what you say is that you ask the spectator, so they're going to hand this to you and place it face up between the 2 aces. So 3 goes face up between the 2 aces. And then from here, you can do it like a one-handed thing as well, where you can like vanish that 3. Or you can do how I do it, which is like this. And I can talk about this another time because there's so many little details that make it work properly. But the 3 is between the 2 aces, and then you can shake and it goes. But really the method, one more time, is that this is, say they select a card. You show the aces really fairly and cleanly and get a break under 1 card. Lay everything on top and grab that triple. So now you have 3 cards, but it looks like 1. And you want to run your finger down the side to create a little step so that you can do this easier later on. So I got a triple, I push that over and I push over an extra X card. And I normally have this spectator place their card face up between the 2 aces, but I'm in this position. And then from beneath, I click off that card and apply pressure here to stop it from splitting at the front. And now I can get this lovely, I square everything in, I can split really nicely and it gets that like nice visual. And from there, if you want to do like a Marlowe undercover switch, you can steal that 6 back out from here. So all that together at speed, without being too boring. 2 aces, place the selected card face up between them. Oops, I didn't get my step properly, but then you can, oh, that was awful actually. I'm going to do that again. I apologize. That looked terrible. So here, watch 6. It vanishes. And you're quite nice and clean at this point. If you want, you can clean up. Okay. Hope that helped, Michael. Sorry for the rushed explanation. David Peace said, ordered one of those lottery books too. Can't wait for it. Yeah, it's so good. It's worth every penny. Matty Mayhem says, Magic Theory, playing devil's advocate to you saying nothing is original. I don't think we've even scratched the surface available of methods for the ACAN. Michael Murray's releasing an ACAN that is so... Oh, don't get us started on ACAN till next week. Nemed. Oh, by the way, before I forget, as a Samsung user... brackets bad choice, they are the Apple of Android. I'm loving the new gyroscope option on Cognito. Thanks, Nemed. That gyroscope option was actually added in like 2 months ago. And we shared it on the group. But yeah, it's the best way of doing it, I think. Matty Mayhem, simple. It should have been created 200 years ago. Rory, both of your lottery books should arrive this week. I want to come on next week to talk about the best method is the one that works book. Oh, okay. Rory has another book coming out. I'll let him talk about it next week.
I haven't seen a link to it. How do I buy it?
I don't think I don't even know if he's talked about it. I've seen the front cover.
He's one of the only people that I buy stuff from sight unseen.
Yeah, he is that good.
I don't need to know what it is. Just take my money, Rory.
He gladly will.
I have money. Take it. Send me
what
whatever
other
you
sandwich
want.
routines do you do?
Me?
Yes.
Have you ever seen John Bannon's Fat City?
No, I'm obsessed with John Bannon's like self-working sort of stuff. So let me see
Well,
this.
my problem with sandwich routines, my friend, is that there is no ending to them. It's like, I'm going to find a card. 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 I'm going to find it one more time. Well, that's the end of that. Let's move on. So John Bannon put out this thing in Smoke and Mirrors called Fat City, and then I got his permission to include it in a sandwich routine that I put together in for my Locked in Room Without Coins DVD many years ago. So Fat City is amazing, and I use it in a 7-phase sandwich routine, which is just insane.
Do you actually?
I love it. I have a 7-phase sandwich routine.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course you do.
There's nothing. Of course I do, right? But this is let's just talk about the final phase, because my big bugbear with sandwich routines is there's no ending. And you know what I mean, right? They find a card, they find a card, they find a card until you want to shoot yourself in the head.
Yes.
Fat City is the way that I like to end it. So imagine that I've been... What's that shit? Okay, so imagine I've been using a sign 4 of hearts, and I've been using the 2 black queens, and I've done 15 phases of sandwich, and literally my audience want to die at this point. So I'm now going to finish the routine. This is the way that Fat City works. So you say, look, I'm going to do it one more time, but I want you to see that I'm going to make it even fairer. I'm going to take the 2 queens and put them off to one side. So there's absolutely no way that I can cheat. Now, what I want you to do is take your sign 4 and put it back into the deck. So they do, at that point, they put their 4 back into the deck. You show it them one last time, and you let them see. You then let them push it in themselves, which they do, and you say, right, the 2 queens are over there, watch. And you just riffle. There you go. And you see now there's a face down card. And you say, if this was your card, would that be good? And they say yes. And you go, yeah, but the entire deck's over here in between the queens. And where the deck was,
that's great.
One card, and it's your signed card.
That's cool as fuck.
And it's how I end every sandwich routine.
That's really... I've actually seen you do that. I didn't know that was John Bannon's. I've seen you do that in one of your YouTube videos.
Yeah, so yeah. I
performing it live as well.
I used it in 2 different sandwich routines that I got published, and yeah,
such a smart ending.
Many years ago, about 10 years ago, I released these, but it's that actual sequence is all John Bannon. So
wow.
How I think I can go through it. Can I go through it, Lloyd? I reckon I can, because I've published it in my own work as well.
If he's allowed you to publish it, I would say completely fair.
Yeah. Okay. So if you want to learn it very briefly, it's very simple. All you're going to do when you've finished whatever sandwich routine you like, this is genuinely the best way to finish a sandwich routine. You're just going to get a break underneath the top card. Let's just so you've got everything on the table. You've got your 2 sandwich cards. You've got your card that you're using. You get a break underneath the top card, and you're going to pick up the queens face up, square them up, so you're taking that top card with it. And then you're just going to, as you pull off this queen, you're going to grab another face down card, but you're going to hold a break. So this is a bit like Marlowe's Atfus move. Anytime face up switch.
Yeah.
So what you're going to do is you're just going to pull off that queen, put it under the pack, and square up. So it looks like you've squared the 2 queens up. In reality, you've got an indifferent card there, and you've got the other queen there. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
So it's just square up, hold a break, get another card, and just apparently put them down on the table. But in reality, that's an indifferent face down card, and the other queen's there. So all you do now is you just double undercut the top 2 cards to the bottom, which means that the other queen is now face up at the bottom, and we're going to do a convincing control. We talked about it earlier on. You're going to do a convincing control, which is absolutely the best way to do this. So you do the convincing control, and it apparently gets lost in the middle. They can push it in themselves. So then now they're convinced that their card's in the middle. In reality, you've got the sign card at the bottom, then you've got a queen, then you've got the rest of the deck. So now all you're going to do is get a break above the bottom card. So you're going to get a break above the selection and riffle. And if you riffle, what happens is the air pushes that queen forward a little bit. And if it doesn't, just move it with your finger. And they see a face down card. So they assume that that's the card in between the 2 queens. So now this is just a timing thing. It's a little bit like card in the box or, any of those misdirection things. You pick up these cards and you say, look, there's one card face down in between the queens, you pick this packet up and your fingers are covering the whole thing from the front. And it's going to look like you use this hand to square up. In reality, you come back and you pick up all of the cards above the bottom card, which is the selection. And as you do this, you ask a question. So you take these cards, you're in this situation, you go, now, if this was your card, would that be a good trick? And I turn my hand slightly this way. So they can't see. All they can see is, they can't see how many cards I've got here. And at the same time, I hold this singular selection like it's the deck. So now I can say, if this was your card, would that be good? And they say yes. And you go, yeah, but the entire deck's here. There's one card over here. And in full speed, I'll just show you what it looks like just for sake of completeness. So you're here, you've just got this. So you're here like this, and you say, look, there's one card face down in between the queens. If this was your card, would that be good? It would, wouldn't it? But the entire deck's over here in between the queens. There's one card over here where the deck was, and that's your 4 of hearts.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Great way to finish.
Brilliant.
Sandwich routine. Really good.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do that routine. So I'll tell you, you got me thinking, right? So 2 things. I'll show you one. So one of this is the dumbest thing I've ever come up with. But years ago, I thought, when you do sandwich routines, so it's all about like the card is sandwiched between 2 playing cards. But if this was a sandwich, if this was bread and butter, and this was the bread, and this was the butter, and you put them together, you'd have a really fucking messy sandwich because the butter would be on the back of the dry bread, but the butter would be on the top, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, things. Yeah. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense. So I was thinking like literally as a like a creative exercise, like if I was gonna have a sandwich, the butter would be on the inside of the bread, right? And then the filling would go in the middle. So I do this thing where you have someone take a card out, like the Jack of Clubs. That would go in the center, so you can still see the 2 pieces of bread on top, and the butter goes face to face, as a sandwich should. And then when the Jack gets lost, you can see one card appears between there, and it's the Jack.
That's really good.
Well, it's just it's really stupid, but I just thought that if you would do that, right, a sandwich, you wouldn't have the buttered sides outwards or one outwards, one in. So the method is you can get a center double. Now this one's the one from Dan and Dave, but you can do this one that I came up with so I could teach center double, which is say stop. They say stop. You can riffle 2 out and pull out these 2. However, you do a center double, right? But you got the 2 cards on top, like the bread and butter, so it all sort of makes sense. You can say stop here, pull out this card, which do like a Stuart Gordon. So I have 2 cards here. Now, do like a Tamariz thing to out jog it. Leave it sticking out. And what's nice is that you can show the bread as empty here, still. So really, obviously the double's there, right? So yeah, it seems so stupid. But what's nice is this part here. It looks like it's the, sandwich card. And when you turn, you can just switch the out jog over, right? So you can say like, boom, 1 card appears between, and it's the Jack.
That's really
nice. That reminds me, that's how I used to finish it, actually. I would do this, I would turn it and turn it back. So I'd have the aces face to face, because that's how it should, real butter and bread. Take out a center double, place it in, show the bread empty, then the filling goes in, snap, 1 card appears between, and this is that's right. I would out jog it like that, and I just quickly go and turn it over and back, which is nothing. It's a nothing thing really, but I liked it. So here, boom, something's appeared in between. It's the fill-in.
That's really funny. That's good.
Do you know what I was playing with over the weekend, which I think is really cool?
Hopefully your wife, as it was your anniversary.
Dude, I'm the same as you. You probably just do magic every chance you get.
Well, that's what Sarah says.
That's what she said. But Perseus from Archimedes reminded me of this amazing Peter McKinnon trick that went completely over my head. When we spent loads of time together, called Arthur. Have you seen it?
Yes.
So I thought of an ending for it which is different and possibly more magical. So the routine, for anyone that hasn't seen, is that a card's placed on the table, and someone, so like name a card, Craig. Let's see if you got close to it. Name a card.
The 5 of clubs.
Oh fuck! Oh, did I flash it on the screen? Did I flash it there?
No.
Oh no! I want you to name a card that isn't that one, so I can show you the thing.
5 of clubs.
No, I'm kidding. Instead, I think I got it wrong, but I'd make a bet with you to say that you can't turn this card over.
Okay.
And then the bet goes on. This is the Pete McKinnon thing, right? So then they go, I bet you £5 you can't turn it over. And you go, okay, go. See if you can turn it over. And they go, 1, 2, 3. And it's a double backer, right? And everyone gets a laugh. And then in that heat of the moment, you throw it out, right? And now you say, no, I bet you it's the 5 of clubs. I'm only teasing, da-da-da-da-da. And now it's the 5, okay? So that's a fucking awesome routine, and Perseus does it so much, and I forgot how good it is. But I thought of this for an ending. So imagine you have 2 cards selected. So go ahead and say stop.
Stop.
So we got this card. This card gets lost somewhere into the deck, about halfway down, and we'll go one more time. So that was the King of Hearts, right? So one more card, say stop. Say stop here. So that card, remember that too. Again, gets lost somewhere into the deck, about halfway down. Now, you remember from the beginning, we had 1 card on the table. Would it be amazing if it was both your cards? Or so, I don't know. I don't know what the pattern would be at this point, right? But you do the whole thing, and they can't turn it over, yeah? And now, at this point, you can switch for these 2 cards, right? Face to face.
Yeah.
So you switch it for these, but you can still show that double backer. So they've literally handled the double backer till they're super happy. You can obviously, like, as I came and got terrible misdirection, I just turned one over. But now I can, potentially turn that double backer on top of the deck. Say, no, I was joking. It's not a real card. They're a misprint. But then you can get like this visual split, and it becomes both their cards. So I just thought of a different ending to Arthur. It makes it like a bit of a. You can also go with the whole this premise. It's like Craig. Say stop.
Stop.
So you remember the card.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to show it to everyone else, so you remember the card, and I riffle off a different one, so I can go 1, and then as I show everyone else, or the second spectator, I change it for a different card. And now, when it comes to the reveal, I say, what was your card for the first time? They both say a different card.
Got you.
And I'm like, whoa, hang on, which one is it? Is it the King of Diamonds or the 4 of Hearts? Which one are you gonna? And then I can say, it's maybe do a different ploy. But yeah, so you know what I mean. It could go based off that. And
have you ever seen that? I love that. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Genuinely. You know what I would do though because you'd need a lot of misdirection to flip that card over. Have you ever seen that Ollie Mealing control from years ago? I think he did it in the original Session DVD. Basically, he just he says to 2 people, both of you are going to pick a card. Say stop for me.
Stop.
And he says, this is going to be your card, and he shows the card on this packet.
Yeah.
And then he says, he drops this hand to the side, and he says, this is going to be your card, and he just reverses that on his leg. So now, and then he puts the packets together. So now, all you've got to do is just cut to the break, and you've already got them.
That's smart.
Faced. So that way, you're not going to have to. You're already there, so it'd just be in full speed. Say stop.
Stop.
There you go. That's going to be your card right there, and this one's going to be your card. We'll leave those there in the middle of the deck.
Super easy.
Boom. Done. We're done. Now we're on top. And instead of did you do like an open top change there to change the
I was doing a bunch of One of the things was it was a horrible. I just did that.
Yeah, because you've got a double card faced. What I'd do is I'd take your double. Once you've got the gag of this double backer, what I'd probably do is just get a break underneath the 2 faced cards and say, obviously you're not going to be able to turn it over. Now do a triple, take the triple off, and you're in the same situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no need to do a top like a scruffy
and so
top
now
chain.
You can do the.
You can do this like visual split, or you could do this like paintbrush sort of move.
Yeah, that one would be good. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
One of the ways to get the cards into the get ready as well, though, if you don't want to do like all this weird stuff like up and down motions, you can just get a double under 2,
Yeah.
From here, you can do like a KM move thing with one.
Oh, yeah.
So a double into two. This hand comes up here. I'm going to steal that back. But if you imagine like you're talking, so I've got two here, blah, 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 gesturing. It like seems really invisible and I've managed to reverse it. But in reality, because I do a different routine with the second card's reversed, I literally push over two and do that. Because you can almost do that being burnt. So it's like, from exposed view, it's like a double, and then here. But at speed, like, and you can imagine the misdirection under this. I just can very casually flip it, you know? But yeah, it's just that ending to that. Basically, the whole thing that I was thinking of is just Arthur is such a good routine from McKinnon. And instead of revealing it as one card.
Was that an illusionist thing?
I think it's in his book that Perseus actually illustrated called Organic, which was only ever... It was only ever like 100 copies. I got one somewhere. I spilled a fucking load of water over it as well. But it was his book on card magic, and it was fucking spectacular. All right, so let's catch up with the comments. Rory said, Craig already pre-ordered the new book. He pre-ordered by total fluke when I was testing the back end of a new collector tier last year. Literally live on the site for 1 hour, and Craig pre-ordered.
There you go. Fucking great.
Fucking
like I said, I'll buy
hell.
anything that you put out.
David Jonathan says, aside from my own, Bannon's Return to Fat City is my favourite sandwich routine. Massive, yeah. Wow, David Jonathan's a genius as well.
I tell you what, just a quick one. David, just quickly. David, I am such a lucky guy. You're going to be well jealous. David has sent me his new trick that's coming out soon. I think I'm the only person in the world that's got this. This is so fucking good.
What is it?
And I will show you. We're filming the podcast tomorrow. I'll show it you. It is absolutely killer. And he's asked me if I can go and do some performance of it and get some performance video for it. And I'm like, I would be honoured, dude.
Do I know what it is? It's not the thing. It's different.
No, it's nothing through Murphy's. It's a self-published thing that he's doing.
Fuck yeah.
And it's amazing. And you know what? It's following. You know, like I've got a thing coming out with the same principle that Cognito uses.
Yes.
And we laughed about it because when we first started talking about it, and I was like, oh, I've got this idea, and you were like, oh my god, we're doing something together using the same principle that he's using. The thing that we spent hours talking about on Friday. Same principle,
wow.
totally applied in a completely different way.
Holy shit balls,
but using that same concept. Yeah, so.
Fuck, that's very cool. David just said, yes, you are the only one with it, Craig.
Haha, fuck you, Lloyd.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so here's a question. Matty Mayhem says, well, the bread and butter story is at least better than the Joshua J effect talking about how his great-grandparents spent Tuesday watching Jeopardy. Thomas Shevlin, I think it was, just scrolling back to the comments, has asked, what are some good slights for people that are not very dexterous? So what's a good slight, you know?
Can I just quickly share one thing with you very quickly? I've just had an idea with your Arthur idea. This is not a full deck. But imagine I've got the 4 queens here. I haven't. I've got the 2 black queens, and I've got a queen of diamonds. Imagine this jack of diamonds is a queen of hearts.
Yeah.
Using your concept of using this this idea of Arthur, imagine if the 2 red queens and the 2 black queens are preset on top of the deck and are faced. Now imagine this as an opener. You say to somebody, and I haven't got it fleshed out here, but you say to somebody, you know, as a magician, I can get any 4 of a kind that I want to using these 2 special cards in my pocket. I've got 2 special cards here. These can be any 4 of a kind that you want to. Let's use our imagination. Now you're going to equivoke down to the queens very, very easily. It's so easy to equivoke down to the queens. So you go, Lloyd, imagine you've got an invisible deck of cards. Would you like to remove the picture cards or the number cards?
The queens.
Thank you. Make it fucking easy. So you equivoke down to the queens. And then you say, turn these over, and if they were the queens, that would be amazing. And then they turn them over, and you've got the backs on both sides. But now you can say, no, these are the black queens, these are the red queens. They're just like stuck together. I know you think I'm joking, but I'm not. Let me prove it to you. Now you do your your triple turnover, and you do your first split on that one to get the black queens. Slip that card into the middle or down to the bottom, and now you can do the same thing here. And you say, well, maybe you think I was cheating. I tell you what, I'll bring these away from the deck. Watch the second one. All I have to do is this. And whatever you want to do. And now you've got a 4-queen production using the same concept you talked about. Now I've just got 2 double backers in the deck. I say, let me take out the jokers, and I'm going to carry on. You take out the jokers, and you've got rid of the double backers, and you're left with a four of a kind production to start your card set using your concept of using Arthur. But you don't have to control cards to do anything. You've just got the 4 queens set up on top of the deck.
Yeah, Jesus. Well, yeah, that. How did you just think of that so quickly?
It was while I was listening to you and getting bored. It went through my head.
Fucking hell.
It was such a really good idea. I'm like, wouldn't it be really cool if you did 2 double backers?
Yeah.
I was playing around with it while you were talking, and
I was so fucking. Oh my God.
What you could do? You know what you could do? You could actually have a. Would this work? Hang on, just give me a second.
By the way, let us know in the comments below. But I fucking love this. This is exactly what I wanted. I just wanted a jam session for all the times that we can't jam because of COVID. And this is exactly what it's turning into. It's just completely like riffing.
Okay, this is probably overkill. I've probably taken the idea too far now. But we're going to give it a shot. So, this is probably too far, but imagine this, Lloyd. Imagine you had a deck of cards, yeah?
Yeah.
And you say, this is a really special deck of cards because it can produce any card that you want it to, genuinely. What I want you to do is touch a card. So they touch a card, you push it forward. Touch a card, they push it forward. You say, okay, we're gonna use these 2 cards here, and they're gonna turn into 4 cards. Blah blah blah. You echo-vote down to the queens. So like we discussed before. So you do exactly the same thing that I mentioned before. So you take the first double backer and you do the first split. And then you do your slip cut, and you take your second double backer, and you say, look, I'll do it again, but I'll keep the card away from the deck, whatever you want to do. You can show it both sides and do your second split. But then you're left with a deck of double backers. So now you're left with a deck of double back cards. So you end up saying, well, you're probably wondering what would have happened if you said another card. Well, I'm glad you didn't say anything else other than queens, because all these cards are backs on both sides, and you're left with a double backer deck. I don't know.
I fucking love that. You could have someone take that deck under the table with the 4 queens in it and say, take out 4 cards, turn them face up. And then do it queens. That's so bold that they couldn't check. That's great. I'll show you what this is, and this is not good. This isn't good, but just because if I don't say it, then I'll forget it forever. But I was just, as a utility thing. Actually, I don't even know if this is actually. This is actually really shit, so just ignore it. But we're jamming, so fuck it. 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
The diamonds and the hearts. They go down here. Cards selected, so let's see, the 4 clubs. Gets terribly controlled to the top. And then... oh, fuck, I didn't even show the bit that was important. Fuck, hang on. Right, the only bit that was nice is that you can take the 2 aces and show them and place them down. Then a card's selected, controlled terribly to the top. And what's nice is you can make a card appear like this and show, look, there's nothing in my hands. And then you can turn them all over and show it's the king, the 6.
Oh, that's a nice use of a double backer.
Yeah, so it's just to get ahead of it, so you get that nice production. So, I'm going all over the shop. So, diamonds, hearts, that's split. But you can flash, which is nice, I think. Sorry. You can do that display. Boom. They go down. Card selected. So 9 of hearts. Lost in the deck. Boom. And now you can fan, make something appear. Get a break under the 9. Regrip everything, and then you can do that.
That's really nice.
So all I'm doing is from here with the double backer. I get a pinky break. Then I put these 2 down on top, so it's a triple. And then as I turn them over, I flip that in my fingers, like a nice clean display. And I'm left actually like with, you know, the double backers on top now.
That's great. That's really good.
So just from the top, get the 2 aces, the ace of diamonds, the ace of hearts, and you can show. That's the nice bit. Cards selected, so king of diamonds, lost in the center. Boom, 1 card appears. Get that triple, turn it all over.
You know that what that would be good with, Lloyd?
A pizza.
A mem deck. You put a double backer on top of the mem deck, and you just say, I'm going to take out the 2 red aces. Obviously, they're really near the bottom, so you've got 51st and 39th. So you take out the 2 red aces, you put them to one side, loading the double backer. You then say, name any card that you want to. They name a card, and obviously you just estimate it and cut it to the top of the deck. And you say, okay, watch. And you snap, and you show that there's 1 card appeared in between the aces. And when you turn it over, it's their freely named card.
Fuck, that's good.
Then all you'd have to do is take the 2 red aces, put them back into the 51st and the 39th position, and you reset.
Have you got a mem deck to try it?
I haven't. I've got no. I'm not.
I don't think I've got anything in mem deck. Why? These were in mem deck. Rory said, fuck. Where are we? Lloyd choosing the queens made me laugh. Punk BMX, I feel used up like empty Froob yogurt from all the killer stuff. Oh man, do you remember the Froob yogurts? They were the bomb. Rory, I know nothing about card tricks. Most channels ask us not to include them in shows. They are great, for example, though, like Double Backer with Darren Brown with Stephen Fry in Monaco. What are your thoughts on card tricks on TV? Do you think TV channels worrying about audiences switching channels is justified? Are there card tricks you perform on TV and in which context? What a fucking great trick. Craig, do you want to take it away?
So, am I worried about doing card tricks?
Well, I think it's
on TV.
What are your thoughts on card tricks on TV? Do you think TV channels worrying about audiences switching channels is justified? Do you think people would turn off when they see a card trick?
I think it very much depends on the card trick. I don't think anyone's going to switch off when they see Shin Lim do his shit. I think
maybe they would though. After at what point though do they go right? They're like, I'm losing track now. They're all the same trick. You know.
Well, all I know is you got to look at BGT as a perfect example, and because they see a lot of magic. The judges there have been the same judges now for about 5 or 6 years. They see a lot of magic, and I've heard them say several times, "Thank God it wasn't a card trick. We're sick to death of card tricks." I remember when Jasper Cherry went on, and he said, "Can I approach the desk?" And his opening patter line was, "You're probably sick to death of seeing card tricks at this point." And Simon Cowell was like, "Yes, I am." And then he went into to egg. So, but then you've got like AGT, the guy that won it this year, did it with card tricks. And we're not talking Shin Lim card tricks. He did it with, his audition was a card trick. It was a good card trick, but it was basically a really cool version of shuffleboard, or that might have been the first round. I don't know. The point is, I think it very much depends on the card trick. I think it very much depends on the magician. I don't think if somebody came onto TV these days and did what Blaine did back in the day to become super famous, which was basically standard stuff like 2-card Monty, an ambitious card and that sort of stuff, I don't think that's going to cut it these days. I think it's evolved, and I think you need to do something bigger and better. But I mean, you're the consultant on TV shows. You've consulted on tons of them in the past.
Not as much as Rory. Oh, also, by the way, Rory just gave a £5 tip, I think, from One Ahead. Wow. Thank you, Rory. That's my first ever tip. My first ever tip. Thank you so much, dude. Wow. Woohoo! I'll split it with you, Craig.
No, it's fine.
Man, thank you so much, Rory.
You go buy yourself some more mint sauce. It's fine.
Okay. My thoughts are, I think you should make them count. So I don't think there's anything wrong with card tricks, but just like Darren's example, Rory's example of Darren with Stephen Fry, and the other one that comes to mind is when he does the art heist, Darren Brown, the heist. He does a card to box routine. It's really fucking hard to forget that because he only does 1 or 2 card tricks in his his entire TV career. So I think if you are there's nothing wrong with a card trick, but you gotta make it count. But it also depends on. So what I mean by make it really good and don't water how good it is by doing 1,000 other card tricks. But I think what was interesting with Blaine is because he only did card tricks and coin tricks essentially. But Blaine's focus was about the audience's reaction. That was the revolutionary part. You know, the sit down with him and Paul Harris in the EMC, and they talk about that show and why it was so revolutionary. It wasn't just street magic. It was the fact that it was about the audience reaction. So the card tricks in the Blaine context, they were the vehicle to get the reaction.
Yeah.
As opposed to the focal point, I think. You know, the tricks were good, but it was more about like how crazy these people were going from all over the world for seeing this man do very simple style of magic. But yeah, I think you've got to make them count, and it does depend on the magician.
Look at Dynamo though. Dynamo. It was only a few years ago when Dynamo was doing the rounds with Good Morning Television and everything, and he was doing David Penn and Wayne Fox's 52-1 deck. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yes, I do. But it's not super memorable to me. I think it's memorable to me because I'm a magician. But I think the one that people remember from Dynamo is French Kiss.
Yeah.
You know, everyone remembers that. And I think if you are, like, that's such a good trick. Although nowadays it's very popular. Then...
If you're lucky enough to go on TV, there's so much more material you can do these days. Why pick a card trick? Yeah. You are going to have... You know, when I ever go and do a gig, I don't open with a card trick because you always get those people that go, oh, I've seen that one.
Yeah.
You pull a deck of cards out and you go, I'm going to show you a card trick. I've seen that one. No, you haven't. I very much doubt you have. But that's their general perception. I've seen that one. Just a magician takes a deck of cards out and says, oh, I'm going to show you a card trick.
Is that what the audience think at home as well? If they see a TV show, they flick in through the channels and then suddenly, boom, they flick on and they're looking at a deck of cards in the magician's hands, go in, pick a card. Do they go, this again? Or I mean, you've got to have some interest in magic to watch regardless, but...
Yeah, but not if it's like something, again, using BGT as an example. They're not got an interest in magic. They've got an interest in a talent competition. They might hate the magic. So
Michael Lawrence says he'll pay us $5 to keep it on. We could keep going for an extra 20 minutes, maybe.
I don't even know what time it is, Lloyd, to be honest.
7. Rory said, Punk BMX said just the tip. And Matty Mayhem said, tip, don't play leapfrog with unicorns. Sunday strip session. But... that's right. David P said Diamond did a lot of haunted deck early on too. People mentioned to me with the phone in bottom the haunted deck. Yeah, I agree with that. But Rory said everything you guys have said about TV card tricks is bang on. I sometimes wonder if the secret is to just avoid saying the line choose/pick a card. Even if they do choose a card, avoiding that line makes it feel different. Such a good point. Yeah, just standing away from... I actually wrote... I was just having a creative exercise once, and I'd watched the Magic Circle Close-Up Magician of the Year award, and there were so many similarities in the routines. And I wrote an entire act for the magic for as if for myself. I'd never enter, and the whole act was based off like taking the stereotypical act and pieces and flipping them on their head. So starting off by saying now. You've all seen the chop cup, and in every stage piece you have the chop cup as X, Y, Z, and the final end, and then there's the big load, and the whole routine was basically. And I think if you're going to do TV magic with cards, for example, then make it count. So don't do 1,000 tricks, but then the tricks that you do, you could almost phrase it as in, I'm imagining from the viewer not switching on halfway through the trick, so they get to see the entire trick. But like sort of like what Rory's saying, as in avoid choosing the lines, but almost frame it to the point where like there's a million different card tricks that you can find that have been on TV shows all over the world. I'm gonna do takes up that concept, chews it up, and spits it out or something. I don't know, maybe. But I feel like if you're gonna do a card trick, make it count. Make it one of two. If you're gonna do a TV season. Put 200 tricks in or 20 tricks in and one card trick. It's also then it's hard to get it confused for all the other card tricks. If you've got one card trick in there, they don't get it confused going, well, you did so many things with cards, you just lose it, as opposed to going, oh, that card trick, wait, like Darren Brown in the heist, that card in the box, and she kept going back into the box. You can't confuse that with an ambitious card routine that he did, because he didn't fucking do an ambitious card routine. He didn't do a sandwich routine, he just did that one trick. And that's it. So you can't get it confused and water it down. Punk BMX, why not ask the spec what type of magic they want to see? Yeah, valid point, but I think what Rory's question is, he's on about TV magic, so you don't really get unless you're watching like a Netflix Bandersnatch, they can't really have the option to choose what they want to see. Michael Lawrence, I think Cards Across is great for TV for those reasons. Yeah. Molly Mayhem, I have a Kickstarter to fund a full-length feature film of Joshua J. card trick. Rory said, if a beginner wanted to learn a card trick, what do you both choose to teach them? Oh, I know exactly, straight away.
Really? What do you do?
I teach certain people this trick.
Mm-hmm.
I have them write down the name of a playing card on a piece of paper and put it in their wallet or their purse. And then I tell them to do this. I tell them to take the deck. Say they wrote down the King of Hearts. I say, you're going to go through until you see the King of Hearts. And you cut it to the top. And then you're going to say, and then you begin. So I'm going to take one card out. And I'm going to place it in a very particular position. Okay? Just like this. And then what I want you to do is cut the deck and we'll mark it. So I just do a crosscut force. And then I say, before we began, I wrote down something on a piece of paper, and I build up the time misdirection, and I bring out a piece of paper. Eventually it shows King of Hearts in that order. And then I'll say, you remember I placed one card in a very specific position, and you cut to a very specific position, and it's the King of Hearts. And I know it's super basic, but I teach that to people who want to learn Magic, because there's so many fundamentals in there that they can take from it and do further.
I tend not to teach card tricks because I kind of think if they're wanting to learn a card trick, it's normally to show their friends or at the office or show their kids or something like that. So I teach either, you know, the jumping paper clips thing with the £5 with the note with the bill.
Yeah, I can never get that down.
Huh?
I can never do that properly.
Oh, right.
Is that where they link?
Yeah, and you put the paper clips on. You do a Z fold. You put the paper clips on. But I teach them not with a £5 note, with a piece of paper. So I tell them to get a piece of paper or a receipt.
Well, Rory's question is, what if if they asked you to teach them a card trick?
Oh, card trick.
Yeah.
I'd probably, if people ask to see a card trick, I normally teach them the cut deeper force.
Yeah.
Purely because it's so easy for them to concept. Cut deeper.
Yeah.
Sometimes lay people can get confused with key cards and placements and deal down. And so I just say, look, write the name of a card, cut deeper, spread through, first face down card, it's their card. It's a simple thing that they can do immediately. And, you know, I think that's the most important thing, that they can do it and show people.
Yeah, that's really, really good. It's funny that these tricks that we go to teach is like simple, pick a card, reveal a card. And I wonder if a good challenge is to think of a trick you can teach someone that isn't a pick a card, find a card trick. You know what I mean? If there's any that can...
Yeah.
I mean, it's so many, but it's anything interesting. Like, you couldn't just teach them a triumph straight away.
No, you
I remember years ago, there was a trick that used to sort of be done, like... I remember a few people would know about an inversion trick where you have a card selected and you look at it like that, place it back in, and then I can't remember which way they'd use to clean up, but they'd say, like, do you remember what the card was? It wasn't the queen, was it? Or it wasn't the 3, and then it'd be face up. I remember a bunch of laymen knew that around my local area, like in pubs, when people would start like jamming, like not jamming, but you know when you're in the pub and people would start doing tricks like the 21 card trick. And I quite often see the inversion trick coming up, which I think is not the most normal. You know, you have a card reversed on bottom and then it's shown turn. I remember loads of laymen knew that for a while at some point. I don't know whether it was some magician showed a bunch of people, but I remember that being a trick that was shown a lot. Or is that just a normal thing to show these days?
Completely changing the subject.
Go on.
Do you know Icarus by Christian Grace, an illusionist?
Yes. Yeah.
I've been practicing that now for a week, ready to review it on the review show. I'm just finding it a bitch.
Can you do it?
Just finding it
do it
so
now.
difficult.
Do it now. Do it live.
I can't because it's for two reasons. One, I don't want to expose it because I've still got to the point where I'm not doing it every time, and I don't want to expose a trick that's commercially available.
Yeah.
And two, the gimmick's up in the house and I'm down at the bottom of the garden. But I want to do it justice when I review it, and I really like it. But I'm finding it really, really, really tough to do. And I don't normally find any magic tough. I normally pick it up really quickly. But this is It's a knacky thing.
What is
I'm
it?
really
A
struggling.
sleight of hand knack, or you?
I don't know. The whole thing is difficult. It's just really hard.
So many comments coming in. Let me get to the thanks for the help, Michael. I like teaching the key card trick where it's the bar bet the next card. Oh yes, actually this is David Peace. Yes, this is such a good trick. The key card effect where you say the next card I turn over will be yours. So.
And then you deal about 3 or 4 past it.
So yeah, you would choose a card. They cut it in. Do this, boom, 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 until you see the 3 of clubs, which is the key card, wherever that was. What the fuck? And then yeah, and you say, right, the next card I turn over, this is gonna be your card. Or the next card I turn over will be your card. You bet a £5 note on it, and they say yes. And you go boom. That's a fucking great trick.
Yeah.
That's a fucking great trick. Yes. God, I forget these ones. Do you know what trick I used to do this thing loads. When I was young, my grandparents would take me to Spain, and they would take me around the bars, and I would do tricks, because my granddad would teach me tricks, and he would show me. And I would do this with a wallet, obviously. But I'd have a prediction, which was going to be the 5 of hearts. And I would do this everywhere, and I'd fry everyone. This is like when I started thinking I was like getting more into magic than the average person doing the 21 card trick. But David Peace just reminded me of it. So 5 of hearts the prediction. So wherever you like to say stop.
Stop.
Here or here?
Table.
This one. So in here I have. This would be my prediction, or £5 note to bet on, blah 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 blah, and it would be the 5 of hearts there. And, you know, like the old thing where you load it into your wallet. And I used to fuck people's world. And my grandparents would let me.
One of the first books I ever read on magic was Adult Magic by Paul Daniels. You probably haven't seen it. It was designed for laymen.
Yeah.
But it was quite good. It was good magic.
Yeah.
It was like good magic. He taught a waterfall, shuffle, Hindu, really good magic. And he had something like that, and he called it coincidence. And you got an envelope, like a normal envelope, and you wrote on there coincidence, and you had the card behind it with a safety pin attached to it in your pocket. So you get them to shuffle the cards, you get them to deal down to it. And as he does, he says, stop anytime you're onto, and he says, I've got an envelope here. It says coincidence, there's something inside it. And then when they say stop, he just drops the envelope down onto the dealt pile. And he says, are you sure you want theirs? That's fine. Yeah, okay. Remember I said coincidence? It's because there's a card in here from a different deck. It's the 7 of diamonds. Turn the card over, you dealt to 7 of diamonds. Same thing. Basically.
Yes, same thing. It's such a strong... God, that just... David Peace saying turn that card over, and then that reminded me of this effect, and doing it years ago. That's a great trick. And I wonder how explored that's been. I mean, who the fuck are we? But wouldn't it be cool if there was, instead of just doing... Instead of just doing the very basic... Even though it's a fooler, I know for a fact it's a fooler. But you have like the card 5th down and a few cards. And then... So they deal down, they stop. Inside the wallet or whatever you drop here, the prediction says... It's a £5 note or whatever. You say, oh, that's 5. £1 for every card you got wrong. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th card. You know what I mean? Or wait, I'd love to explore that plot a little bit, because it, as much as some, you know, like people would never believe that the crosscut force would be fooling these days. If it was released now, it would get panned, and it's the most powerful force in Magic. That plot of loading a card, or not under a box, but under a wallet. There's so many exciting things you could do with that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. 100%.
I'd love to explore that in detail. And having some really interesting things like on paper coming out of the wallet and the whys and why you could do it. Could you use it in a triumph routine, I'm thinking? Or could you use it in other things that are not just pick a card, find a card?
Well, I mean, instantly, it's an easy way to load an envelope with cards across. You know, deal 10 cards onto the table. Brilliant. I'm going to put that envelope there. Can you pick them up and put them in yourself? And you load 3 cards on top of the dealt pile. They then pick the cards up and put it in the envelope. Now there's 13 cards in there.
What if it was this? So you use it in like a roundabout way. Okay, so this is my setup. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards, right? Down. Then you snap or whatever, and now 3 cards vanish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we need a 7th, right? So 3 cards vanish. You say, oh, they don't just vanish. They jump into my wallet. Boom. And now these vanish, and now they jump back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, so
nice.
you use it to load as you reveal. That makes sense?
That's a good way of doing it, yeah. I like that.
Oh, it's such an exciting plot. Okay, I want to explore that. Thanks,
Coming soon from Murphy's Magic. Lloyd Barnes presents.
Okay, let's look at some comments. We got David Jonathan said, "Good point, Craig. Penn and Teller just used the cut deeper force as a letting layperson be a magician on Fool Us."
Yeah.
Great choice. Punk BMX says, "I taught my wife the vanishing sausage trick." I'm hoping he's not on about his wife had a sausage before that trick began. Liam Thomas said Gemini twins. I think that's too good for layman. Oh, who the fuck am I to say that? What about card warp? Too good? I think card warp's too good for the first trick. Matty Mayhem, out of this world or diagonal attraction? Yeah, that's it. Self-working mind blower. Oh, out of this world I wouldn't teach that to a layperson. That's like one of my closers.
Have you ever seen Out of This Zip Code by Eric Tate?
Yes. Yeah.
Fucking amazing.
King OK says, "I like teaching the palm and then I do a trick with the invisible palm." Yeah, that's good. Nemed said, "Madison had some fancy version of that. Don't recall the details, but the card is on top for turn-in and the one is on the table pile is gone." Michael Lawrence said, what's the first card trick you ever saw? Mine was card on ceiling. Set the bar pretty high. Fuck. What was the first card trick you ever saw, Craig?
What was the first card trick I ever saw?
Yeah.
I'll tell you. I remember exactly. It was... I had no interest in magic till I was 18, and then I went to Butlins, and I met a magician and fell in love. Not with the magician, with magic. And...
that was his name.
I went down. It was Ulysses. I went down to Skegness. That was where I was. I was a redcoat at Skegness Butlins, and they had a little market stall. And I had a day off, and I went to the market stall, and he had 4 trick decks, and I bought all 4 of them, and that's what started my love of magic. The first trick deck was the Svengali deck. The second trick deck was a really cheap version of like the blank deck, the rough and smooth blank deck, but it was like short and long, not rough and smooth, so it wasn't like, it was a really cheap shitty version. The third version he made himself out of fishing wire, and it was called the Ghost Pack, and it was basically the Haunted Pack with like 26 of the cards had a hole in the middle, and he got fishing wire that he'd put through them.
Oh, yeah.
The other 26 on top were loose, so he had 3 cards picked. You put them in the bottom part, and they just cut themselves. And then the 4th card trick he made himself as well, and he called it Cross on Card, and that was my favourite, and I did that all the time. And basically, he had 26 cards, and he drew a cross in the middle of the 26 cards on the back.
Yeah.
He had the other 26 cards, and he drew he drew a cross on the face. So he could spread the cards face up and spread the cards face down and look normal. He said, name a card. And if they named one of the cards with a cross on the back, he spread through, he put it on the table, and then he turned them over and he said, look, all of these cards are normal, and yours is the only one with a cross on it. And if it was one on the face, it was the same thing. He just put it down. He went, look, it's the only one with a cross on the face. And I did that all of the time.
Oh, that's great.
Those are the first 4 card tricks I saw and bought.
And you bought them. That's interesting that you didn't just see it and learn it. You like.
Well, it was. They were like £5 each or 4 for 10 quid.
I remember. I can actually show. I can show the first card trick I ever learned because I got shown it, and then I got fucking fried by it as well. Okay. Let me just set up. getting the 4 aces. You can all probably guess what's coming. Right, ready for this, Craig?
I'm ready. Go for it.
Let's see how much I'm going to butcher this. So I'll show you. So I got shown it, and then I got destroyed by it as well. So got the 4 aces, right? Let me go into the deck. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Very fair.
Yeah, very fair. They go in. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, 4, they all come back.
Nice.
Quite good, right? Which I thought was an absolute miracle. But then but you know the method for that, right?
Yeah.
So then I'll show you the method that fried me afterwards. So take them all here. Let's see if I get this right. So cut the deck so you don't think there's any. Oh, so the 4 aces. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes in, and then they come minus that one to the top.
That's cheeky as fuck.
So fucked me up. So it uses the 4s.
I've never seen that principle before. I could imagine that working really well.
Yeah, so the first time around, it was just 3 X cards, which everyone knows, you know. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I got 3 random cards there. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 random cards. I can't believe I'm teaching this on a live stream. So then you go 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth, the ace, you can just riffle 1 or 2 off, and it goes in. And then the 4 aces come to the top. Now, as long as the ace of spades is on the bottom, you just need to turn these 3 4s over, which are not the 4 of hearts, hearts, clubs and spades, or whatever it was. I did like a 4 for 4 type switch. But basically, you just spread over like that. And it looks like 4 aces, but it's the 3 4s and an ace of spades. So my uncle and grandfather would show me this, and I never could work it out because now there's no X cards, and now there's no holding a triple even. Put them in, boom, and the 4 aces come to the top.
That's sick.
Yeah, caught me off guard so bad.
I have to just say something. Going back to my trick that's coming out through Murphy's into it. We don't know that it's a weird link. But I've just quickly checked Facebook because I had a notification. Justin Miller.
Yeah.
Love him or hate him. You know I'm a Justin Miller.
I love
fan.
Justin Miller.
I love Justin. And such a creative guy. You know I put a post up about it's coming soon.
Yeah.
He's just posted on that page going, I'm going to make a prediction right fucking now in capital letters. This will take the Invisible Deck's place in every single Magician set. Invisible Deck had a good solid lifespan, but now it's time to move on, and this is taking its place, I guarantee it.
Fuck me. Wow. 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 Well, we need to use that quote everywhere, but let's jump on. We need to make, we got to do a live reveal of the trailer. It's got to be like a special event, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not? Let's put the wheels in motion.
I'm afraid I'm peaked, Lloyd. I may as well just retire right now. I ain't touching this.
I mean,
again.
the guy who invented the Invisible Deck, Eddie Fetcher, is it? I mean, he didn't invent the... Huh?
Can't remember who it is, which is terrible.
Well, somebody invented the rough and smooth deck, and then somebody turned it into the Invisible Deck routine.
Yeah.
He peaked, but it's a good peak to fucking have. Do you know what I mean? So will you be with that trick that starts with the letter Q?
Yes.
Quail
indeed,
eggs.
which I'm
So
excited
there's some
about.
good. First of all, that Matty Mayhem said that second 4 ace method always gets me. Playing a hold'em, come a squeezer. Barnabas says I got to try that on my shitty webcam and probably fool some people. Barnabas, do me a favor, go and try it on a real person. I guarantee you'll be fucking stunned that it floats by them. Just go and give it a go. And if it goes wrong, just say you're going to teach them a trick. So you say, I'm going to teach you a trick, but let me show it to you first. And if they catch you, then nothing to worry about because you're going to teach them. And if they don't, you'll be surprised. But you can use it for a lot of other things. But somebody asked a question, which is Mitchell Ward. I think it's a very good question, and we should probably end on this question. It's not an ender question, but I feel like we're getting on a bit in time.
Ironically, the reason I'm laughing is Sarah's just sent me a text saying, I told Sarah I'm doing a live stream with Lloyd, and she went, how long are you going to be? Oh, I don't know, about an hour or so. She went, told you it wouldn't be an hour. Say hi to Lloyd for me.
Say hi, Sarah. Sorry I've kidnapped your husband, but we're having too much fun. And this is important.
Exactly.
Last question. I think it's a really good question from Mitchell Ward. He says, what's a trick you used to perform a lot, but have phased it out of your repertoire?
Shit.
I know one straight away off the top of my head.
Go on.
It's a trick I used to perform all the time called Only Two. And I want to start doing it again. It's a copper silver using only 2 coins that happens visually. Have I shown it to you?
Yeah.
Now, it needs to be done in real life. And I know the reason I've phased it out of my repertoire is because it's COVID.
Yeah.
So you don't really see people. But I'd see if I can get it right here. I do need to have a bit of... So, borrowed coins, copper and silver. Okay, so name one.
Silver.
Silver. Okay, watch. So if I take silver, you can see copper's in the hand. I want to get this, but if I throw it up, oops. I don't know if that works on camera, but
no, that was good.
Places. But you can do a visual version too, which is if I take the copper again. Watch the silver. No, watch the copper as it turns. Oh wait, it's got to do the other way around. This time I'll take the silver in my hand. The silver in my hand like this. Ugh, that didn't fucking work. Try one more time. Silver in my hand. Watch the copper as it... Fucking hell. This is why I phased it out. Silver in the hand. Watch the copper as it turns silver. That's not going well. That's not going very well at all. But yeah, ignore that. Cut that. But it's better in real life because you need to get this like misdirection of when they go up to look for where you're going. I'll just do like a snap change thing, obviously. Like that. And as they look up, as I try and get some space, I drop and let it change in mid-air. And then the second phase is you put the silver here, the copper here. Now which way around is it again? Oh, they think the silver's going in the hand, and as you bring forward to their eye line really close to them, because you tilt it down, it makes it look dark because of the shadow. I've got a ring light here, that's why it's not so good. And as you tilt up, it becomes shiny, so it looks like they see it visually change. So you bring it down here, and then bring it towards their face, and then it'll change in slow motion. But I phased that out of my repertoire.
I realised that I haven't done rubber exchange in years.
What's that?
And it used to be one of my favourite tricks. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's by... oh my God, what's the rubber band expert? I've interviewed him.
Joe Rindfleisch?
Joe Rindfleisch, yeah. It's one of his. I don't know why I stopped doing it, because it's killer. I don't know if this is going to show up. Can you see the green band?
By the way, David Jonathan said, I don't mean to add to the hype, but Craig's new cue is genuinely incredible. Because, yeah, he's absolutely right. Fucking is.
Man, I love you, Jonathan. All right. Can you see the yellow and the green band?
Yes.
I'm going to make an old-fashioned cat's cradle. Did your nan ever used to make those? Yeah?
Yeah.
Can you see them? Can you see the green one in the middle?
Yeah.
Watch. 1, 2, 3. And it changes. And I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. And it changes again. And you can examine everything.
That's great.
It's. I used to do it all the time. Stopped doing it. Don't know why. It's a killer trick.
That's great. Well...
Rubber exchange. I should start doing it again.
I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Nemed says, at this point, only a direct quote from Jesus could raise the hype. That's so true. Thomas Shevlin says, John Bannon's Zumbaya from his band with series blew my mind. Yeah. Okay, great. Guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. What a fun week. This has been the best one so far, I think, Craig. I've missed Ben and Adam Wilbur, obviously, but that was a proper jam session.
But you know what? Next week you've got Rory Adams, the legend himself.
Well, are you going to be here next week?
Yeah,
Should
I've got to.
should we tag team Rory?
If you want me. Hang on. I don't want to say yes and then or not. So just give me 1 second. I've got an illusion show, but I think it's earlier on in the day. It's I've got an illusion show till 4:00 in Dudley.
Dudley,
which is about 45 minutes away from my warehouse. I probably could get on about 5:30, 5:45. So if it's still running, I'll come straight back, come down here, and you can add me in.
All right, well.
Depends on how.
Everyone, drop a like on the video if you want Craig to come back.
Move her ass and load the van. Say again.
Guys, what a Sunday session. That, I felt I needed that proper jam with you. Full on. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. And thank you, Craig, for coming on board. And we'll see you all next week for the live Sunday session, the last one before Blackpool.
I believe it is, yeah. And you'll hear us on Wednesday, Lloyd.
David John, has anyone called out the anything typo yet? No, I haven't noticed it. Am I here where, Craig?
They will hear us on Wednesday.
They'll see us 9 p.m. UK time Wednesday for episode 10 of the Magic Podcast.
Don't ask what it's about. We haven't got a clue.
Oh, it'll be fully planned out this time. Live
Really?
on air. Thank you, everyone. You guys are badasses. Drop me a like on the video. Hit subscribe. Share the video for everyone so more people can see it and more people can get involved. That's all we ask of you. See you next time.